Welcome to the B-Side Bois podcast, a rugby podcast from the heart of Iowa, with your host, Mr. Gray, and Philly, and your boy, Gimli, our international correspondent, Eric Nichols, and now featuring Sam the Hendozer Hendricks. Thanks for joining us today. If you don't mind, don't forget to subscribe to the show and leave a 5-star review. Now, sit back, relax. It's time for the show. Take it away, boys.
All right, and welcome to another episode of the B-Side Bois Rugby Podcast. I am Mr. Gray.
Eric Nichols.
Philly B.
And Sam Hendricks.
And we just want to say thanks for joining us on our very first full live, nope, not live, we'll cut this, but video episode on YouTube, and then also I think on Spotify too. So trying something new here. All the kids are doing stuff with podcasts, with videos. It's supposed to get more things, and then we can share things on socials, because I've been told that 3-hour-long episodes aren't really connecting with people. They're not really watching or listening to the whole thing. So maybe we can clip it up and people can get their little tiny bites.
Joe Rogan does it, so why can't we be more like him?
I think these are 3 hours.
Maybe the audience should change, not us. That hasn't been going so well.
They talk about attention spans are dying, so we're just trying to fix that.
Yeah. I do that to you guys. I'm like, you're not leaving. And I haven't seen the movie The Backrooms yet, but I've seen that clip over and over where he forces that chick to sit down, and he's like, stay in character, and he ties her to the chair. That's why I feel like I keep you guys in here. And then also it's just like, maybe I don't want to change. I like it like this.
No, God, you have watched the Backrooms. You had to have. It's literally exactly what it is.
I've never even heard of that.
Oh. Well, no, I've seen every TikTok. I'm on
TikTok.
I'm chronically online, and people have put on so many 30-second clips that I've seen all 90 minutes of the movie. So yeah, and Backrooms, I'll send you. I got links. We'll be fine.
I probably won't watch it. Thank you.
But anyways, so we've been gone since April. So welcome back, everybody. What's everyone been up to? Sam, you've been pretty busy.
Yeah, I've been very busy. Just got married or something. So
Hey.
She's a nice lady.
Love.
Yeah, that's Mr. Hendricks.
Yeah,
too.
Mr. Hendricks. Come on now. No, it's been good. I mean, just came back from the honeymoon, drank a lot. Can't talk about the rest, but
Get it?
no, it's clean. We'll keep it clean. But no, it's been great. It was very stressful last 6 months, but we're here now. That's what I was looking forward to. I was like, I can't wait to be back on the podcast and drink more.
All right, clip that. Send it to Tracy.
She's not gonna be happy. Cut that.
Just sitting on the honeymoon like, boy, I can't wait to sit in Ryan's garage. Oh, Philly V, I haven't seen you in probably 6 years.
I know, you probably wouldn't understand, but I'm a father of one now, so I'm really busy.
I know, I don't remember what that was like.
You guys don't get it.
No.
Yeah, that's kind of about it. Just, work and being a dad. It's really cool and awesome. Love it.
Yeah, this is riveting stuff. Nichols, you got anything, or should we just move into?
Yeah, no, I'm good.
Yeah. I will say, though, too, if we have to end the episode, Lex is 36 weeks pregnant right now, and she was like, I feel like something might happen. So if we have to abruptly end, it's because we might be having a baby, too. So, right now. But we'll go as far as we can go.
If you have to go, we're all going.
We're all getting in the car, all of us. So, with the first thing coming back, and if we've got new people listening and old people, just a reminder of the B-Side Boys, our big goal is, one, rugby community is fun. It's a good time. People sitting around, having beers, sharing stories, but we want to bring people in. And one of the ways we can do that, the World Cup of Rugby is coming back in 2027 for the men in Australia, and then in 2031 the men's World Cup will be in the United States, the women's World Cup will be in the United States in 2033. So I feel like coming off the Soccer World Cup, this is an excellent time to kind of go off of their momentum, see what worked for them, see what didn't work, and how can rugby bring that in. And this is something too where we want to get information in front of you. So many times, a big reason too we started this, I was so tired of when we would talk to people about rugby when we started the Wombats. And I'd be like, hey, this is happening. And people would be like, oh, I didn't know that was a thing. And it drove me nuts. Again, as a person who's chronically online, and I feel like I see the posts and I see the things, and I'm like, you know what? We can put all the stuff in one place and share it out with people. So that's a goal with this too as well. But yeah, the World Cup is coming up soon. You know, non-soccer fans, how many people did you see who like don't care about soccer? We're like really getting into it. Like, oh, we got to beat or like asking questions like, are we better than this team? Are we not? And so as rugby's coming around, I hope like we can pull people in the same way. I mean, I don't know, Nichols, did you see some of that? Did you get into the World Cup? I mean, I feel like, are you a big soccer guy?
No, I was like 15 years ago, but I got pretty into it. I mean, anytime you can root for the United States, I feel like you should. So I thought it was fun.
Yeah. And then Phil, did you go downtown?
No, I mean, I saw some people go downtown, though, because they had, like, on a big projector screen, like, down by Court Ave. They were streaming it for everybody, and it actually looked really cool.
I bet it would be fun.
Yeah.
Some beers.
Yeah, it was like USA Bosnia were playing, so and one of my friends is from Bosnia, so he was like the only Bosnian fan downtown, and everybody else is wearing USA gear.
We were going to go to Tito's in Urbandale. Katie and I talked about it, and I drove by there at noon, and their patio was full of people, and the game started at 7 p.m.
Even Big Grove was like packed.
Well, even for the World Cup game or the final, like Argentina, Spain, or whatever, like I saw a ton of places that were just packed for it.
Yeah. And that's where, again, like I listen to other sports radio podcasts or shows like ESPN 1000, the Chicago radio show. It's a football podcast or a football show, and they're talking about the World Cup. And one thing I noticed that I thought was really interesting about their conversations was they're football guys. They also follow baseball. They follow basketball. But they're so confused because they're like, so many kids play club soccer. They pay so much money for club soccer. We have the best athletes in the world in the United States. But they're not going to soccer. Why aren't we better? Then they were asking the question, why is a foreign coach coaching USA players? And then they were asking, why is it that a guy who couldn't make his home country, who has dual citizenship, he's not a starter for his home country, so he comes to play for USA? And I'm like, oh boy. When rugby comes around, if people get into it, we're going to have a lot of the same questions, except the biggest difference is we don't have millions of kids playing rugby at high club levels. So how do we convince the regular person like, no, like buy into rugby, get into it? I don't know. That's kind of heavy, loaded, but I don't know. It's something we got to tackle.
Because it's more fun. I don't know. That's my pitch.
Fun.
It's fun.
Yeah, it's my pitch. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, you just need to give it a shot. I mean, who are we to... Everyone that is watching this is probably a rugby fan, but I will say that soccer, I mean, the common trope that soccer gets is that the game is boring, which I don't really agree with, but it is like pretty linear. Like kick the ball in the net, don't tackle someone, period. Like that's how you play soccer. Don't touch it with your hands. And that's basically all the rules, where rugby's like ridiculously more nuanced and like it's a lot harder to digest, but I think it's more entertaining to watch. So, but I think it's that barrier to entry where people watch and they just don't know what's going on. It's hard to latch on.
Well, it's more entertaining for the World Cup at a higher stake. You know, it's going to be more entertaining versus like watching an MLS match. Like, still might be fun, but it might not be at a higher level, so it's not going to be more entertaining, more aggressive. So
I think also too it would help if USA could get out of pool play. Because I feel like a lot of people didn't really care that much with soccer going on until we got out of pool play and we were in the bracket of 16. Then all of a sudden I saw tons of people USA's playing at this time, and like everybody's like going somewhere to watch it and everything else. But I felt like during pool play nobody was doing that.
And it helps that they won a knockout game because they beat Bosnia was like the run of 32 or whatever, so that was a knockout game, and then they won. And then they played whoever, and I was in the Ozarks. I didn't give a shit. But.
Belgium.
yeah.
And, looking at that too, Nichols, you were saying the World Cup for rugby in Australia 2027 starts in October 1st.
Yep.
First game for USA is against France.
So
that's going to be a tough one.
Mm-hmm.
But that is a selling point of you get to see some of the best rugby in the world. It just might be in the other team's colors. Do you know who else is in the pool? Like, if we have a chance, because I will say, and I know I didn't have this on the rundown, but Tier 2 nations, the nations championship.
Yep.
The Tier 2 kind of international thing right now. USA went 3-0. They're top of the pool right now, midway through that series. They just came off a win over Spain.
Yep.
And they had two other big victories. I mean, is there
Zimbabwe and somebody else, right?
Yeah, was it Paraguay?
Could be.
Yeah, because that was on July 4th. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I mean, and
they came back and won that one.
They won that at the death. Yeah. So I mean, that's huge. They're beating the teams in Tier 2 that they need to beat. Do you know who's in their pool for World Cup?
I don't know. I know that they. Yeah, I guess I do. So they play France, then they play Samoa, and then Japan.
Okay.
So
those other ones are pretty winnable.
I think Japan is going to be tough. Samoa is actually in the Nations Cup. Not to get too nuanced, but the island nations in general are having a little bit of trouble.
Yeah.
And I think that Japan will be a pretty tough draw, and France is. I mean, they're not going to win. It's just a fact.
So I mean, realistically,
but if they can beat Japan, and then because I think 2 teams come out of every pool,
and then there might be like 2 wild cards.
Yeah, that might be right, or maybe it's
because I think, and they've.
No, you're right.
They've jumbled the numbers. So
the top, however many third place automatically advance.
Yep.
So I find it tough to believe that a USA in third place would vie for one of the top third place spots, but that's just me being pessimistic over 15 years of history.
Yeah. I mean, if they can beat Samoa and they play Japan close, I mean, that's really the best outlook we have.
Yep.
And just, you're probably going to lose to France by a lot, but just don't let the floodgates get too far blown off that it's like the point differential is impossible in pool play.
But we are talking about the U.S. potentially getting out of the pool where they didn't qualify for the last World Cup. So, I mean, that right there is a win.
Huge turnaround. Yeah, and again, just where they're at, they are currently sitting atop the Tier 2 nations. We're always talking like, you got to beat down that door, get into Tier 1. How does it happen? And there's so many nuances of grassroots, college, and the pipelines up to the top. I mean, we've been talking in our group chat about the U20s and the U18 teams, and there's been some results that aren't the most promising.
Yeah, but they're more favorable than you might think, and I do think, not to hijack what you were saying, Ryan, but I think the USA performance in this Nations Cup, Nations Championship Tier 2, no matter what the final scoreline was, I mean, they're 3-0. Yeah. How often can we say that about a U.S. national side in any tournament since we've ever been talking?
Or a 3-game win streak.
Exactly. So as far as getting people to buy in, invest, and pay attention to the World Cup, I mean, I think what we want is probably never going to happen, at least not in the next, 96 months or however long it's till the next 5 years. But I do think that the U.S. is trending in the right direction. Getting out of pool, I think, would be a huge leap, but it's not impossible. And so that right there should breed some kind of excitement if we can have some kind of success. I mean, frankly, even winning a game in pool play in the World Cup for the United States is a pretty fucking big success if you look at the history of the World Cup and our involvement in it. So that right there should be enough to trigger involvement by the general public. The problem is United States fans in general like winning and like yelling and being excited. They don't give a shit about where we've been and where we are and how this is a relative success. So that's probably going to be your biggest barrier to entry.
What can you do for me now? And also starting with France, if anybody's like, oh, World Cup time again, we lose by 50. And that's actually being conservative. How many people are gonna be like, yeah, I'm never watching that again? Like that's a tough draw. But that's where this next question I have is, what should people do at the local grassroots level to get new people involved? And what do you think is the responsibility of USA Rugby or people at the top? Like, what would you like to see to pull people in or just to make people more aware? I think of it as, we have the Wombats, we have this podcast. Obviously, just watch parties, right? We can host watch parties. We do
an
host.
Easy one to do,
Just go out in the community and if you get, we do this all the time. We go to Pally's and we're like, hey, throw the game on. We go to single speed, throw the game on, and random people in the bar go, what's that? And it's like, oh boy, let me tell you. And we talk about it, right? You get people involved, you get them there, they have a good time. They keep showing up, right? And you show them the social side. That's what's kept us here for a lot of it too, right? It's just a fun community. But then on top of that, what is the responsibility of USA Rugby? We always talk about what USA Rugby needs to do with players and coaches and development. they got to develop fans. And like, is there still talk of like World Rugby maybe taking away the bid from USA and hosting it in another country? Have you heard anything like that? Or I know there was talks.
It's been. I think it's just podcast fodder. I've never heard anything that's
elitism from like the kickoff and kick-ons guys or whatever.
Yeah,
like,
pretty much.
Okay.
I mean, guys from like superior rugby nations like wondering why it's here. But then again, those same guys in another. I mean, just like they're bullshitting just like we do. But they'll talk about the untapped giant of the United States and how it could really be the turning point, which it could be if we wanted it to be. But the fact of the matter is there's not enough money for USA Rugby to really do anything. And there's not enough rugby to entice kids to not want to play baseball, basketball, or football, which is the main problem. But I do think USA Rugby, it's like you get enough as a club or you're trying to promote the sport from within, you get enough rope to hang yourself. It's like, well, here's the paperwork and the form to fill out, but you have to do all the work. And then as far as fan engagement, I mean, how many times do you go to watch the USA men's team and there's a paywall or a barrier to entry or the stream doesn't work or you can't find the information that you want, but I can Google the All Blacks. And I mean, just the fact that I could probably name you 50 players that could be selected for the All Blacks, that I could name you like 5 for USA, and I like pay attention to the sport. I mean, so I don't know who's to blame. USA Rugby is the biggest entity, and they seem to be to blame for a lot of things. So I'll pick them.
And that's what we're here for: is to point fingers
at our come with solutions.
At our own
my question is like, do you think like the World Cup for soccer this year was so much popular because it was hosting? Like because we were hosting a lot of these.
I think so. Yeah.
So do you think even just by hosting in 2031 it'll gain more popularity?
Yeah.
Like I think just hosting in general, I think will just bring more eyes onto the sport.
As long as they put the fucking games on actual TV.
For sure. Yeah.
I mean,
and not like or streaming like Peacock. You know, it's so accessible to get it on Peacock. Like every other like Six Nations games versus Fox is kind of hard to. You have to go to a bar to watch it. I feel like
FIFA was Fox for the first for pool play, but then it was Peacock for the bracket or whatever. So,
I mean, even in other countries, they talk about like it's bullshit that we have to pay to watch rugby games, and like in the United States, every football game you watch, and that's not so true anymore with streaming. I get it, but 80% of your local market NFL games are on basic cable, and what percentage of baseball and basketball games are on basic cable where if you just have to have any basic TV package you can watch it. Like you said, the World Cup was on Fox, so it's right there, anyone can watch it. So now you have to not only get people interested in watching the sport, but then they have to jump through hoops of trying to figure out not only having the streaming service but figuring out which one it is and then the timing, and then you get no promotion. So I think a TV deal, which is never going to happen because we don't have the money for it, is probably the biggest barrier to entry.
And I will say at the end of the podcast, now we're going to do a new segment called What to Watch, where we're going to tell you upcoming games and tournaments and where to find them. Because I noticed USA women, who are, I would say, arguably in a way better position to be successful at the international level than the men right now. Like they
Not
just
even arguable. Just a fact.
It is a fact, yeah. They beat South Africa. Nobody saw it live.
Right.
Because USA Rugby, and again, I don't know who's to blame for this. I don't know what happened with all the issues, but USA Rugby put out there, hey, it's going to be on Paramount Plus. And then less than 24 hours, less than 12 hours before kickoff, they go, oh, it's on Rugby Pass. And then at 6 a.m., people get up, they put on Rugby Pass, and it says waiting for stream to start or just link not found. And I'm getting messages from people like, hey, where is it? And people are like, oh, I found a Reddit link and someone has it. South Africa versus USA Women, 2 weeks in a row. They promoted Paramount Plus, switched it to Rugby Pass, no link. That can't happen.
No.
That's crazy.
Well, didn't Paramount Plus sign a deal with them to like have all the games?
But it was hosted in South Africa, so people are saying there was like a weird something, but like I don't know.
No one
figure it
cares.
out.
No one cares.
And I jokingly said, like, I can just take my camera and do it myself. Like, just let me hop on the team plane. I'll do it for the USA fans. So I don't know, but
somebody just go in the crowd and go on Instagram Live and just help a brother out.
But on Reddit, I think that's what some people did, or like they recorded the South African like local broadcast and then they put it on Reddit and then people are like, here's the link, and it's like, really, we're pirating our national team? Like, that's crazy.
Ridiculous.
in the year of 2026, Phil.
This the year of our Lord.
Unreal. And you know what's not unreal? Our next segment here. What the Ruck? That's pretty good, right? That's pretty funny.
Wah, wah, wah.
So, something new here we want to try. And What the Ruck is brought to you by our brand new sponsor, Tryline Photo. You made an incredible play. She caught it. Lauren Ridgway, you've probably seen her in Central Iowa at many rugby matches and tournaments with her camera. And if you want those awesome photos, you can reach out to Tryline Photo. $2 per photo, $20 for 20 photos, or the full match. She'll give you every single photo for $40. I know for the Wombats, we've used her all the time. She was at Toys for Tots. She was at Block Party. And the moment she started this, Tryline Photo, follow her on Instagram and Facebook. The moment she started this, the next weekend after a tournament, every single person I know had her photos. She knows rugby. That's the thing, too. A lot of photographers who are like, I love action. They don't know rugby. She knows rugby. She knows how to get the best photos. So if you want great photos for your next rugby match tournament, heck, even a practice, get a hold of Lauren Ridgway with Tryline Photos. And again, What the Ruck is brought to you by Tryline Photos. So in this, we want to talk about something in rugby that happens that maybe you're confused about. Whether it's a tradition, a rule, a tactic, something historical, a story of a player. And this is for people who are brand new to the game, but also people who've been in the game. And the first What the Ruck we have is when you turn on a game, especially international, why do they kick the ball back and forth over and over and over? And I think as forwards, the three of us, it's so annoying. Why would you ever kick the ball to the other team? You think of football. You only punt on fourth down because you have to. So why in the world, after we're just pounding it with the front row, right? We got the loose fours running hard, and all of a sudden the scrum half does a box kick or the fly half kicks it deep, and now we're just watching them kick back and forth. Why did they do that? Nichols, what the ruck?
What the Ruck? Kicking is a pretty important part of the game.
Prove it.
I will say that. Well, you played with me. I kicked a lot. I think it's proven.
I still didn't get it.
I think the higher level of ball you go, the kicking not only increases but just changes. But I've broken it down quickly into 4 reasons to kick. So the first would be, I guess there's 5. 1, you have to kick off to begin the game. That's pretty self-explanatory. Drop kick, that's how you put the ball in play to start the game. Second reason would be for points, whether that is a penalty and you opt to kick at goal for 3 points, which would be like a field goal in football, or in play, during play, a drop goal, which would be like a field goal for 3 points. So you've got starting the game, points. Now, the 3 other things that you'll see in play, I've broken down in 3 categories: possession, territory, and contestable. So territory is probably the easiest one for people that have played a little bit of rugby to understand. That is, it's essentially a punt. We're in our own territory, and what we would prefer not to do, we don't want to risk turning the ball over or committing a penalty and giving the other team the chance to score. So we're going to take the field of play from close to our try zone and put it close to theirs. Typically, you do that by kicking for touch, kicking the ball out of bounds, which generally results in the other team's line out, but you gain territory. So even though you're conceding the ball, which is really hard for a lot of American fans to get through their heads, you're giving away possession of the ball, but you're gaining territory in the field. You would rather play with the ball on our attacking side of the 50-meter line than play on our defending side of the 50-meter line, because as we know, the ball never stops in rugby. It's easy to turn it over. It's just kind of a risk-reward factor.
Ask Phil.
Yeah.
It's easy to turn it over. No, I'm sorry.
I was going to say, what are you talking about?
This is funny.
Involved in
All right, cut that.
involved in territory. Typically, if you have the ball behind your own 22 and you kick it out of bounds past your own 22, the ball, it's the other team's line out, but it is where the ball goes out of bounds. So that's how you can gain territory.
So that's something crazy too. That like I've been doing rugby for 17 years, and I still don't I've just never taken the time to care about are they in or out of the 22? And it's like, well, why do I care? That's really important.
It's important because
and then they bring the ball back, and you're like, oh shoot.
If the ball, last ruck, scrum, whatever, is in front of the 22 and you pass it behind the 22, then kick it out, that doesn't count. So then the other team gets a line out where you kick the ball out. So you negate all territory. That's why being behind the 22 is important. Which is a little more nuanced than I meant to get in those. The other one, which is way too nuanced, that would be involved in the territory kicking, is a 50-22. It's a relatively new rule. So if you are behind your own 50-meter line, you kick the ball, and it lands in play past the 22 and then goes out, then you are rewarded the line out as opposed to the other team.
Because it's got to bounce. That's the biggest thing.
It has to land in the field of play.
You just can't kick it out.
Past the 22 and then bounce out. And that's become a pretty big play for a lot of teams because you can advance the ball and then you get the line out, which is huge. You're not giving away possession to gain territory. You're retaining possession and territory. The next kick I get is probably the most exciting one, which would be what I would call the possession kick, which would be I'm running the ball. It's me and the try line, and Phil is in between us, and I kick the ball over his head, or I kick the ball by him. I retain it and score. That's the funnest type of kick that we like to see. It would be pretty. It would probably happen if it was just me and you in the try line. Let's be honest, because I'm not going to run you over.
Currently?
I might be a little rusty.
Man, just tear your other bicep.
And
3 biceps.
Oh, shit.
What do they call it? They call that a grubber, right?
A grubber, a pop kick goes in the air, a grubber goes on the ball, or on the ground, like a grounder in baseball. Final kick is a contestable, which is it's probably like a little bit higher level game, and it's a real risk-reward proposition. So typically it can be done by a box kick, which I'll get into in a minute, or from anyone frankly, but it's where the ball is kicked really high and it's like both teams are kind of staring at it, looking at it, and it is what it's called. It is what it's described as, a contestable kick. So you go up and you're banking on either retaining possession or the other team will drop the ball or get tackled, catch the ball, get tackled, and you instantly have play right away.
Just right on, like your momentum's going to carry over the top of them. For the
Or
steal,
draw a penalty and get tackled in the air.
Exactly. Or if nothing else, game is stale. We're just going to move play 20 meters down the field, and we're hoping that our players are either we're going to get possession or the other team's going to commit an infraction, whether it's a penalty or a ruck. That's the contestable. Then the other, typically you have like a first receiver, fly half, or a back will catch the ball from the scrum half and kick. That's pretty standard. Or the kick will come directly from the scrum half out of the base of the ruck. He'll bend down and from a bent position kick it. That's called the box kick. A lot of it has to do with the scrum half or the kicker's preference, where you are in the field. If the scrum half kicks off the deck like a box kick, you eliminate any kind of potential issue with a bad pass or anything like that. It's a lot quicker, and a lot of scrum halves are really good at it. Frankly, we didn't do it all that much when I played, and the ability of these scrum halves to box kick is insane.
You don't see it a lot in Iowa rugby at all.
We had the old box kick with Andrew Root playing 9 back in the day.
You know what I will say as a big guy with box kicks, you see a lot of like locks trying to block it. I think that's the one time that you can actually knock the ball forward is to block a kick. And
charge
you won't,
down.
You won't get a yellow card for it. You won't. That's a free ball. So as long as somebody's kicking it, you can charge for it and try to block it. And even if the ball goes forward, that ball is still free.
That's a good point.
So as a tall guy like me, when I see somebody about to box kick it, I try to go charge for it and try to block it. Because then I won't get a yellow card, I won't get a penalty, because that's a free game to go block. If you were to try to block somebody's pass, then that's a yellow card. That's intentional knock. But you can do that on a kick. So I think that's interesting too with kicking and trying to block kicks and stuff.
Absolutely. The kicking part of the game it's huge and important, and you see a lot of younger guys just kick because they see people kick. But there's just a little breakdown of why. So when you're watching a game and they're kicking and some guys just go, ugh. Well, it's like try to understand why. It could be that we're on our side of the 50 and we've run 7 phases in a row. Nothing happens. It's like, all right, let's concede the ball and gain territory and reset because we aren't going anywhere. And at the higher level, a lot of forwards actually really like when the kick happens because you guys are doing a lot of the dirty work in like the bangers, the short balls, the runs, and the rucking. And if you're not getting anywhere, it's like you're just using effort for no reason.
Right, and we finally get a break when it kicks back and forth.
If the team's all on the same page and you kick for territory and put it out of bounds or do it correctly where you have proper chasers, it kind of can alleviate the stress on the forward pack.
Well, and I watched a lot of Iowa Selects play this summer, and one thing they did so well was they'd pin teams deep. And you think 2 and 7's like, you don't want to give away possession. They'd pin teams deep, and their defense was so stout. Okay, now that team is inside their own 22. Their defense is awesome. They create a turnover. They only have to go 12 meters to score a try.
Yeah, pin your ears back. Yep.
That's super easy, right? When you have the ball and you're like, oh man, we have to go 85 meters, like that's a lot of work. But like when you pin them deep and you're like, okay, good luck, and it's like, okay, and we've always done this too. I feel like at you and I when we used to play touch, if anybody kicked, it's like, boo this man, boo. Anytime someone kicked the ball, everyone just boo. And I feel like that's been like programmed in our brains that like we're American.
I still do it in matches.
We're American. Kicks are dumb. But like the more you look into it, and as you know, rugby coach Joe said, like watch a full game.
Yeah.
Like it's a chess match. You're pinning them deep to try to get them to do something. And like you said too, I think a lot of times games get stale where it's just like crash, crash, crash. We've done 15 phases and we've gained 2 meters. We gotta mix it up. So
we need to reset.
Definitely. And so that's what the Ruck. We're going to take something. So if anybody has like a question of like, why does New Zealand do the haka? Why does the United States have 2 governing bodies for colleges? Why does Philly cut that? Okay. Sorry. Why does Phil missing a tooth? We'll explain it, you know? So that's the point of that one. Nichols, thank you for, that was funny because we're like, all right, this is the idea. What do we want to talk about? And you're like, yeah, we could do something like, why did kicks happen? I'm like, sweet.
That's a
you're
great
doing
idea.
It.
That was like an hour and a half ago.
That's why you're our expert.
How'd I do?
That was pretty good.
It was.
I like it.
I'm not used to the camera. I feel like I've been nervous. I'm biting my fingernails.
Yeah, and I keep looking down. I don't think I've looked up.
Are we supposed to look up? I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know how it works.
I hate this. Let's ditch the camera.
Hey, chat, let us know. Chat.
Yeah.
We should take our shirts off to make ourselves more comfortable.
Actually, I was actually thinking about that because we've got some interviews coming up. Where like, what if in between the interviews, because there's only like a 3-minute break, what if when we came back we all weren't wearing shirts, and then after the interview we're all wearing our shirts? We just never talked about it.
Oh, it's like that one alumni weekend where they, we took our shirts off at the bar, and they're like, okay, if you guys put your shirts back on, we'll get you all shots. So we put our shirts back on. We ran over there, took our shots, but we ran back out and took our shirts off.
Yeah! Then this is where we play Petey Pablo. North Carolina, come on, raise up.
Jokers.
Take your shirt off. Twist it around your head, spin it like a hell of a
Was
sucker.
Jokers. I don't even know what it is now.
Voodoo. No.
Is it Voodoo?
No, Voodoo was across the street. Yeah, it was Jokers, yeah.
It was Jokers.
It was Jokers.
But then it turned into Voodoo,
It turned into Voodoo.
I think.
It's the Cedar Falls lore.
All right.
So, speaking of college, that's what's next. College rugby. Everybody's posting their schedules online. Everybody's getting ready. And here's the thing. I think a lot of colleges in Iowa have a really good opportunity to do some big things. I mean, I know we're biased. We say this all the time. But when you look at the landscape of things real quickly, University of Northern Iowa, they're in the D2, Great Midwest Conference. They've got some huge recruits coming in.
Big ads. Oh,
yeah.
God.
So, first of all, Logan Lashbrook from Waverly Shellrock. You've seen him over Iowa Selects. You've seen him at Waverly. The dude's a tank, big guy, runs fast, runs hard. That's going to be huge. Another huge transfer. Ren Heimer, who we've been a fan of for the last couple of years from University of Iowa. Friend of the pod. He's transferring from the University of Iowa to the University of Northern Iowa. That's a huge get.
It's just so out of the blue, but I guess he's doing something with education or whatever, and
physical education. Yeah,
and UNI is obviously a great school for that, so that makes sense. And I think maybe he has some family ties there, if I remember
That's
right.
what I heard.
Yeah, so pretty cool.
Yeah, and then Jameson Gesseman from Norwalk is also going to go there.
The Norwalk pipeline continues.
All their coaches played at UNI.
That's the point of all of it, right? Yeah. And then Martin Denlinger, he comes from Dubuque Youth Rugby. That'll be a big one. So, yeah. Oh, and then this was another one. Huge fan of this kid from Crestwood. Pulling this up now. Blake. Where I have his last name
Kennedy?
here.
Is that what it is?
Dude, I can't. Yeah, Blake Kennedy. Thank you. Sorry, I
Phil, nice job.
Dude, that was good.
Something.
For once.
Did you prep for the show?
No.
Blake Kennedy. Dude, that guy ran so hard for Crestwood.
Another good pipeline.
Yep, another one. And then Central Springs, Jackson Edwards. Yeah, there's just so many guys coming in, and like a lot of guys from the state of Iowa. Really excited to see what Zeus does. I know, Nichols, you're friends with Zeus. Are we going to get him on the pod? Get him on? I was talking to him, and I think it's getting closer now.
Every time we record, he'll be on the next one.
Yeah.
Dude, we can get him in person. I know we can.
Yeah, I mean...
So,
He's got to earn it, though.
Quick prediction. UNI wins the Great Midwest again.
Yep.
Makes the deep run in nationals, and we're going to have a bunch of watch parties, and hopefully they win a national title. That's the goal.
Hooray.
Yeah,
Go
that'd be
Cats.
amazing.
Up next, Heart of America College Rugby. They had some big change. So they are D1AA in the CRAA. They are combining with Midwest Rugby Conference. So there's going to be like a D1A tier and then a D1AA tier. And the reason why there's like a big change was the teams in the south of the Heart of America, they moved over to National Collegiate Rugby. And I kind of jokingly said something earlier. That's a whole thing. We don't have time to get into the whole thing. So Iowa, Minnesota, Iowa State, Principia, home of the...
Was it? I can't remember. It was like Thunder Chickens or something like that.
Thunder Chickens, yep. And Wayne State will be the 5 teams competing in the D1AA Midwest Rugby Conference Heart of America. So again, Iowa State, Iowa, they also are pulling in some big recruits as well. I know Iowa State, they have their Hall of Fame coming up. Their deadline to submit somebody, July 31st. Again, Ant, can we submit people we know?
Can I submit Tim again? Can somebody get inducted twice?
B-Side Bois, yeah, the first ever 2-time person, Tim Oxford. Yeah, so they've also got as well Cooper Moore coming from the Blue Plague. They also have from Naperville, Illinois, Braden Della Caparini. So that's something Ant's always pulling people from out of state. Nicholas Aguayo from Bondurant Blue Plague as well. Jack Carroll transferring from St. Thomas University. So just doing a great job pulling more people in from out of state. They were runners-up this year in the 15s National Championship. But Iowa, they want to get their get back. They beat Iowa State in the regular season this past year. They lose in the conference championship. You know Tyler Daly's going to be coming back, trying to go after them. It'll be exciting to see how that conference shakes out.
I'll be excited to see them because they're losing Renheimer. So like having that chemistry with their captain, you know. It'll be interesting to see how they come back from that.
Yeah, something to watch for like who replaces. Those are big shoes to fill. And then on the women's side, obviously UNI women, they look to continue their dominance in the Midwest Women's Conference. Iowa, though, has been just right on their tail. Iowa State, they're in a little bit of a rebuilding period, but again, with all the talent we have in the state, it won't take them long to rebuild with the Iowa high school girls that they have. And then Iowa Central, there's been talks of this. They've been posting more on social media. Iowa Central has a women's program, so I think we're poised to see another big run from UNI. Iowa women, I feel like they got screwed last year. They finished runner-up to UNI, and I don't think they got in that large bid to nationals.
Right.
They just missed out. I think they're a team that should have gotten in. I think where they get screwed over is the Midwest Women's Conference is so small that it's hard to justify 2 coming out of a league with 5 teams.
Yeah,
So
that makes sense.
way it goes. Up next, the last thing I have for college rugby. Did you guys see this story? Alex Goff shared it out. South Carolina players fired their head coach.
The players did.
The players did.
Huh.
It is a student-run organization. So in this article that you didn't read,
Nope.
so basically,
Did you read it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, never mind.
it even says, please read the article.
I told you I don't prep.
Did you read the rundown?
No.
At least you're consistent.
For 5 years, Phil has always just shown up with a smile, and his big alarms, and like, just talk at me about rugby, and I'll respond.
Yeah,
So anyways, players fired the coach.
that's cool.
Back in 2014, how come you and I didn't fire me?
We had a lot of grounds to fire you.
Yeah, you
I
did.
know.
I was 24 years old. I shouldn't have been
But
head coach.
I also enjoyed hanging out with you.
That's why I probably should have been fired. But we won a lot of games and we did a lot of stuff. But the difference here, all kidding aside, this coach here, head coach John Roberts, he has been a part of their program since 2021. South Carolina, on the field and off the field, from where we sit, again, we're in Iowa, they're in South Carolina. South Carolina has built a respectable program. They've been winning on the field, and it seems like they had good fundraising, good finances in order. There was conversations out there that their alumni raised roughly $1.5 million over the last 4 years. Coach John Roberts was getting paid a salary. So the players were asking for more transparency. They weren't happy with the organization and the communication or lack of communication that they claimed from head coach John Roberts. So the players voted, and the leadership team decided that they were going to fire him because they are a student organization. So they have the right to do that. But the alumni, they backed this coach. They're not happy about it. They also raised this money, and there's talks of they could not give that money to those current players. It's messy. And also, players are only there for up to 4 years, maybe 5 years. Some of them might only be there for a semester, maybe 2 years. A coach could be there for much longer. This coach has been there for over 5 years. Phil, how do you respond to this?
But don't you always back your players? Like, however they feel, you should pretty much be, especially as an alumni, I feel like you should be kind of backing your players that are on the field,
But what if it's a 20-year-old kid who gets a position of power and is like, I don't like how this guy does stuff. I want someone new. Like, is the grass greener? They don't have a coach. They're looking for a new head coach. Where are they going to find him? Are the kids going to go look for a coach?
It's a good question. Really good question. But I don't know.
Read the article.
I'm assuming they're probably.
Yeah. They're going to find a coach.
There's obviously an article about it, and the word's out, so.
Yeah.
Just a classic, like, is it short-sighted, grass always greener kind of thing. And if to Phil's point, I'm remiss to say.
That was big of you.
There's a lot of growth over the past few months.
Clip that.
But if the kids don't like the coach, then what's the point, I suppose. But to, I suppose, Ryan's point, or the alumni's point, you have a guy.
Lot of points.
You have a guy that you've committed to, that you're providing with funds, and you've seen success. So, it seems like a fucking sit down and a conversation is in order.
Oh, yeah.
And it seems like this thing got way too blown out of proportion.
Man, I'd love to be a fly on the wall for that.
Yeah, because, that's the thing, too. It's really hard to say. Like, we have no clue what conversations happened, but it is really interesting because it's a club sport. But when you're a competitor, it doesn't matter if you're playing, D3 men's rugby, you want to win.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you're playing club rugby for a D1 AA program, you want to win. It doesn't matter if you're at a varsity program, you want to win. And it always is one of those things where if you're not getting the results you want more. So again, what conversations were had, and for the stability of the program too. He had, from what I read, the head coach had an agreement with the university. So there were still things he had to do for South Carolina to be in good conduct or to have that position. And he was recognized. Because I know when I was coaching for the University of Northern Iowa, not a single I don't think my name was on a single document from UNI. I don't think anybody knew.
It was intentional.
Yeah. Purely it was USA Rugby goes, you need a level 200 coach or you can't compete. And then you guys were like, hey, you live in town and you're an adult now. Can you get certified? I'm
Loose on the adult, but yeah.
Well, I was graduated and it happened, right? So that's the thing too. You want to be a varsity type program, but you don't have varsity type resources. I don't know. It's interesting and something to watch because I think there's a lot of clubs that are in very similar situations. I don't think besides over at Iowa Central, that's a varsity program, and you see the women's coaching position is posted. There is a salary with it.
Yeah.
But as far as I know, pretty sure none of the other coaches in the state of Iowa, high school or college, nobody gets paid. From my understanding, that's I don't think anybody gets paid. So it's one of those things where it's like, man, that's crazy. If students are upset, and it's like you're gonna find someone who's doing this for either no money or very low money. I don't know.
Yeah.
Not to mention now you're the incumbent coach, so this guy had the backing of the alumni and was evidently winning games and was still lost his position. So, like, it's a pretty hard sell, I would say.
Yeah, so some we'll keep an eye on. And again, it's not like we're trying to talk bad about play or like anybody in the whole situation. It's just, it's interesting. And I think it's a cautionary tale of, you know, I don't know, it's kind of the Wild West without being underneath the athletic department. But again, athletic departments aren't picking up men's rugby programs. With a lot of schools, they're cutting varsity sports because NIL, all the money's going to football, basketball, Title IX with women's sports. You're not going to see more men's rugby programs get picked up. So clubs are going to have to be really creative on how they keep their clubs. So
nice little bit of Gamecock chat.
You know, this is the second time this year we've talked about the Gamecocks.
I'll talk about the Gamecocks all day long.
Because Shane Beamer, they got that dude from...
the football coach who was like talking about how awesome rugby is.
Yeah, because he recruited the dude from Ireland.
Yeah.
Yep.
And he's like, yeah, these rugby guys are crazy. And then a couple months later, we're talking about him again. So, interesting stuff. Now, to talk about another program from out of state, Arkansas men's rugby, the Razorbacks, they are joining the Great Plains Conference. That's that new NCR D1AA conference that's split away from the Heart of America. I met Lance Cummings, the head coach, at the Major League Rugby Championship. We had a good conversation, and I was like, hey, I love what you're doing down in Arkansas. He's doing a lot with the youth program, and he's doing some cool things with his college program. So gave him a call, and we got an interview here. So if you guys could leave the room, and
sure.
I'm going to do it by myself because I'm in the same outfit. But yeah, let's talk to Lance Cummings.
Do it.
All right, bye.
Get it.
Special interview of the B-Side Bois Rugby Podcast. I'm joined by the head coach of Arkansas men's rugby, Lance Cummings. Lance, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Ryan. Appreciate being here.
Yeah, no, really excited to get to talk to you. You know, we are in the ending moments of summer here. You've got fall right around the corner. Some exciting things coming up this upcoming season. And I mean, in a blink of an eye, we're already here. I mean, are you already talking to guys, getting things rolling? Where's your mind right now as the head coach of a collegiate men's program?
Yeah, it's an interesting position because, club sport on campus. So there's some boundaries that we have to follow, but we definitely aspire to be as competitive as possible. So the fall season for us started in May. We've been working over the off season, lifting weights, planning administratively, planning logistically, and we're feeling pretty good about starting the season in a few weeks.
Yeah, love to hear it. And before we really dive into the nuts and bolts of, the admin stuff and kind of behind the scenes of what goes into coaching a collegiate program for your point of view, tell us a little bit about Arkansas men's rugby. How did you get involved with the program? And, give us a little history for those in the Midwest that may not be familiar with the program.
The program's got a rich history. So we're actually the oldest club sport on campus. We've been around since 1971, 50 plus years of alumni. It really started getting competitive and really getting out there from a platform perspective in 2007 when Coach Warren Fife, South African from Pretoria, took over the program, reinvigorated it. It really took us to another level of formality when we look at rugby. I started playing myself at the University of Arkansas in 2011. I played high school rugby, but attended the university and played under Coach Fife between 2011 and 2015. He took us from Division II to Division I AA in the Heart of America at that time. Between 2011 to about 2016, we were pretty dominant in the D1 AA level. Won Heart of America back-to-back and finished third in the country back-to-back times, beat West Coast teams, which was really awesome. Decided to make a jump to D1A in the Red River competition from 2016 to about 2019. We competed well, but as a club sport, that really drained our resources with the amount of travel that we had to do. And, obviously when you make it to the round of 16 in a high-level competition like that as a club sport, it becomes a whole nother level of competition. So the club went independent around COVID time. Heart of America welcomed us back in I think 2021. I hung up my boots around 2021 as well. Played men's level rugby and did military stuff for a while. And Coach Fife asked me to come back out and help out with the forwards. And he stepped down in 2024. And so this will be my second year running the program, and I've got an awesome group of other coaches that help out and an awesome community of rugby in Northwest Arkansas that really supports and stabilizes the program.
That's awesome. And it just sounds like Arkansas just adapting to the needs of the students. Like you said, being a club sport, you want to play at the highest level, but also you don't have those resources. Red River, you're looking at all those Texas schools, Oklahoma, a lot of big travel, a lot of big programs, and maybe some turnover there. And so as you're talking about that too, the Northwest Arkansas community, can you kind of tell us too, for those in the upper Midwest, Iowa, what does the high school scene look like, and what is the, men's club scene like? What supports do you see there, and who are the kids you recruit to campus?
Yeah, it's interesting. It's a unique problem set. When I played high school rugby, I'm from Arkansas originally, so when I played high school rugby back in, the mid-2000s, we had 3 full functioning 15 sides for high school in Arkansas, and then we would travel to Memphis and Oklahoma to play other sides. Right now, there's only one team that's playing 15s and, 2-ish teams that play 7s in the summer. And so, we've started an Arkansas Rugby Foundation following the same model that, every other major college club sport is doing, where they have an outside alumni group. And part of that is helping focus on, supporting the university team and helping them break down barriers that they struggle to break down with being a university recreation program. But another side of that also is looking at infrastructure of the sport in the state. And that's where there's a lot of effort needed from youth all the way to high school. And so we're really trying to target building youth rugby between the ages of 6 to 12. That'll hopefully infiltrate high school. That'll hopefully build pipelines for Arkansas like we see in other states. We've got a really good men's club here locally, the Arkansas Griffins. They've competed in Mid-America. They just moved over to the Texas Rugby Union, and Little Rock is in the Texas Rugby Union as well, and long history with Little Rock. Obviously, Arkansas State's another major collegiate program in the state. They compete very well. Coach Dominic, for them, puts a great side together, a good mix of South Africans as well as some in-country players. But our predominant pipelines over the last few years, we'll get a few high school guys that play in Arkansas, and that's always great because I'm a strong believer as a native Arkansan, and that's why I'm particularly focused in building the youth rugby in Arkansas. Is no one will play for the University of Arkansas with a hog on their chest harder than an Arkansan will. The University of Arkansas is our pro team. I'm sure there's similar sentiment in Iowa with collegiate sports, and so but typically our pipelines come from Kansas City area, St. Louis area, Dallas, Houston, Austin, those high school teams. We've got a great in-state tuition program based on GPA where we were able to pull in a lot of neighboring state players and players from really all over the country because it applies to any state. I will say this is kind of a unique team that we have coming up this year and last year is the first in my memory of having a fully American-born rugby side. So we've got no funny talkers. Roster of 40-plus players that have been playing American rugby their entire life.
Yeah, a sense of pride there. And there's so many things in there that I love. And Lance, we got to know each other. We talked to each other in person at the MLR Chicago Hounds Championship match, which was pretty cool. And you're going to get to know this about me. I had 3 major things that stood out there that I'm going to try to hit quickly. Number 1, I love to hear, the alumni support. Adam Hughes wrote a book about grassroots rugby in the United States, and his number 1 thing that he saw in successful clubs, alumni, old boys, those foundations. Without that, it's so hard to grow. Part 2, and this is what we talked about in person that I loved, you're the coach of the Arkansas men's college rugby team, but you're taking it upon yourself and your guys in your community to invest in the youth. That's not an overnight fix. That's something that is going to help not just in a couple years, but 10, 15 years down the road. You're in it for the long haul. And that's something that I really appreciated when we talked and I was thinking about it. You have a vision more than just this fall. It's a 10-year, 20-year program because, these kids are in elementary school. So I love to hear that and how you're trying to infuse that into Arkansas men's rugby, the collegiate program, and beyond. Same thing we kind of have going on in Iowa where those Iowa Selects, they started that program 5-10 years ago, and now they're competing at a high level, and you're seeing them go to those universities. But then when they get too good, they leave the state, and it's like, come on, guys, no, stay with us, But all kidding aside, I just love to see that. And then, that sense of pride, having those local kids. I think of Arkansas, that new college football 27 video game came out, the athletes that you have in that area, just naming off, Texas, St. Louis, and then the hotbed of the Southeast. There's so many athletes. Do you see a lot of former football players that maybe they don't get what they want? They want to be an Arkansas Razorback, but maybe football's not for them, and they come over to the rugby team? What's that look like? Because with all the transfer portal talk, when I see there's 3,000 kids who transfer and they don't find a home, I just look at it as that's 3,000 potential rugby players. Do you see some success recruiting from there outside of, and that's more of like an instant fix. Do you do anything with that, with those type of athletes?
Yeah, and that's more of a nice to have, in my opinion. I focus more on what I have coming in and what I have retaining. Last year we had 3 former D1 football players on our team. One of which that had played rugby with us and walked on with the University of Arkansas, and the 2 other ones were played for Kansas State, played for Oklahoma State, and transfer portal issues, came back home and tried rugby out and made huge impacts on our team. Mm-hmm. But also with those guys, they need the little centerpieces between players with the high rugby IQ to really put them in space and make them effective. And with a fully American-born team, that's where we're all kind of growing together on our rugby IQ. And that's one big thing that we've been focusing on is building rugby IQ, and how do we build rugby IQ with Gen Zers. And we've done things like create an Instagram doom scroll group, and so all of my players are on a Instagram group, and we're scrolling through, and in strict rules, rugby content only. If someone throws some random meme on there, I'm giving them one warning, and they're getting kicked off. But we share rugby content left and right, and talk about it on the group chat, and hopefully that's building some accumulation that we'll see this fall.
Yeah, rugby coach Joe, he was always talking about it. He's up in Wisconsin. He's coached for a long time. He was at Iowa Central, Lindenwood, Belleville. He's got some social media clips that he's trying to put out there, and that's his big thing too, is to get this generation, it's always just quick clips. I mean, we're 10 minutes into this interview. Your players probably turned it off after 15 seconds, like, I gave it a view, I'm out. You got to have it right there. But what rugby coach Joe was saying was, you really got to watch the full 80 minutes. How do you set up? It's a chess match. There's so much patience. We think the big hits, finding that gap, but there's so much buildup to get those people out of position and set up the way you want. So, give them those little pieces to hook them and then get them to those big games. And with the World Cup coming up, I think, there's going to be more excitement, and we try to have watch parties and things like that as well. I think as a whole country, our IQ needs to raise, but that is interesting, and that sense of pride of 100% American born, because we see so many programs relying on foreign players. That's a cool sense of pride. And, now looking into this upcoming fall, right? You said the boys are working, they're watching clips, they're hitting the weight room. Arkansas Razorbacks, they moved with other clubs into the brand new Great Plains Conference. And so, like you said before, it was the heart of America in the CRAA. Now, moving, it's Arkansas, Kansas State, Missouri, Oklahoma State, and Nebraska. Those 7 clubs are moving to the brand new Great Plains Rugby Conference in NCR D1AA. What a fantastic opportunity. There are great brand names there. That's what I love so much about this conference, is that there's brand recognition. That's something that rugby really needs. And I love the way NCR does things. You're looking out for your guys, you're looking out for your program, and CRAA works for certain clubs, NCR works better for other clubs, and you found a fit here with these clubs, and you found this new home. I love that the schedule, it fits nicely. 3 home, 3 away. These rivalries, you already know these programs. You already know the logistics. And then you also have some non-conference games against Drury and then Iowa Central as well. And you said it before, last year you had 40 guys on your team. You're looking to feed the mouths of all these players. And then also your guys looking to participate in the NCR 7s. No longer a split fall and spring season. So looking ahead, what were you most excited about making the move from the heart of America into this brand new Great Plains? And what are you looking forward to this fall with just maybe the logistics from a head coach side?
Yeah, I want to start the conversation off with just acknowledging NCR is something that our players and myself have been looking at for several years. And, in this atmosphere, and especially with the news that just came out from South Carolina, we can't ignore the fact that club sports are player-led and player-driven. despite how much support they need from older, mature adults to kind of help frame things up. But at the end of the day, despite my own ambitions for the program, this is really all about the player experience, them being hooked in the sport, them loving the sport, enjoying it, and then coming out on the other side still part of the sport in some capacity. So that's our goal. That's our mission. And CRA and HOA have been phenomenal partners. They did everything that they could within their resources to support the game and build a healthy competition. NCR gives us a great format to plan for year over year, and I know CRA is doing a great job this year of kind of forward plotting the competitions that they have. But the seasonality is exciting. The ability to plan better around logistics gives us more opportunity to focus on other things and really be able to plan out a really good schedule for the competition and bring our guys' level of play up to the level that it needs to be. So we're excited about that. This will be year number 2 for me coaching as the head coach, and so I've been kind of really focused on our goal is to win the competition. Our goal is to make it as far in the playoffs as we can. Our goal is to go qualify for CRC in the spring. We're going to play 15s in the spring, and so that's kind of the pattern that we're going to go. We're going to play with 2 sides in the fall. Hopefully every single match that you see on that schedule will have a second side match. In the spring, we're going to play a round of 4 or 5 developmental 15s matches. I'm benching all my seniors. I'm sending all my high-performance 7s guys off to go start training with 7s. And what I'm left with, we're going to play 15s with, and we're going to grow. And we'll come back in the fall with the guys that have a lot better experience and IQ in our platform. But we don't necessarily set goals. I've been trying to myself grow as a coach and listen to a lot of different philosophies, and one that I'm really stuck on, and I'm trying to see how it bakes out before I change. But instead of goal setting, it's defining as a group. It's not me defining. It's me working with the players to set these. What are simple 3 or 4 values that we think contribute to success? Both off the pitch, on the pitch, during training, that we can live by, that we can associate back to, that we can remember, that if we execute those values, things that are goals like winning a game, winning a conference championship, making it to the playoffs, become milestones on the overall journey of a successful program. So that's what we're orientated to. The goal every year is to make it as far as we can, and by executing the values that we set for our program.
Nice. No, I love that. And yeah, very simply put, the news from South Carolina, I mean, that probably shocked a lot of people and was a reminder for everyone else that, these clubs, there's such a varying degree of who's in charge and the resources and contracts and down to club, where sometimes it's just a volunteer who's just a guy. I was the coach of UNI for a couple years. I just graduated, and they're like, hey, we have to have a level 200 coach now, and you're a teacher, and you're in town, and that's how my coaching journey started. You know what I mean? So it's just wildly different, and it changes every year. And again, just the production that NCR has done, I've always been a fan of theirs just because of the University of Northern Iowa, my connection there. They've had so much success, and it's really worked for them. They're a Division II club in Iowa. They're in the Great Midwest there with Wisconsin, Iowa, Illinois clubs. And it's just been really fun to see. And I've always kind of thought that there's been a hole in the center of the United States that NCR needed. And in my head, and I've said this multiple times on our podcast for the 5 years we've been around, I always wanted to see just the HOA to just pick up and plop down an NCR, because I think CRAA does some really, really great things for that D1 a top level, and sometimes, and it's because I love the clubs that you have and some of the other clubs at that D1AA level, sometimes I think they kind of get left behind. And NCR, when they started as the NCSRO, the small college organization, they look out for everybody. I love the production value from D3 men's to all the way D1. They do a great job, and everyone gets that presentation. Everybody gets that exposure, and I love to see it. And again, looking at your schedule, 3 games to end the year at home before that playoff push. Love to see it. What are some things you're really looking forward to from the boys, from the schedule? 9 games, a lot of opportunity for growth, and brand new conference. Who's going to be the first Great Plains champion this fall?
It's a great competition. And that's the fun part is, our alumni love this move because this is all these are all teams that they played against when they played in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. A lot of our alumni have a lot of old blood with Oklahoma. Oklahoma's probably Oklahoma, Mizzou are some of our biggest rivals, and we're glad to be playing Mizzou again. And, to your point, there's a reality to collegiate rugby that a lot of people have to understand, and this is not going to be a varsity sport at a major college. It's not going to be. And I think the rest of this coaching group understands that. We want to push our players to be as competitive as possible and make the most incredible memories that they can make during their collegiate rugby experience. But at the end of the day, none of our programs are going to turn varsity in the next decade or ever possibly, especially with NIL, everything going on with athletics. Club sports is where these programs are going to live, and that's, we've even written into our bylaws that this is a competition for major college club sports, and that's what every program is in our conference, and every club in our conference has a great coach that's building towards a similar goal and a similar platform. And so, there used to be a day that we would look at teams like Oklahoma State and say, that's a win, and going up to Nebraska, that'll be easy, but it's not that anymore. Every week in, week out, we are going to be tested, and I have no idea who's going to win this conference at the end of the fall. I would love to say, with the 40 guys I got coming back and who I know from a personnel standpoint, how healthy we can stay, our prehab, rehabbing. We've got a great setup to make a run for it, but every week's going to be a test.
No, I love to hear it. And yeah, I just love the rivalries. I love to see, again, that brand recognition. I remember when the CRCs first popped up, about a decade ago, they were looking for those big college names. And like you said, the way college athletics is going, we're seeing so many programs at the varsity level get cut. I think we have to find a way where rugby survives at that club level. And I think you're doing a great job with creating those core values, investing in the youth, make it something that when kids show up to campus, they're asking the AD, they're asking the person giving the campus tour, where's the rugby program? I want to play rugby. And you're building a product on the field that people want to be proud of. I'm so excited for this fall season. Really going to be awesome in October to see coming down to the wire for these 7 clubs. And so, Lance, again, good luck this fall, man. Thank you for joining us. Any other shout outs you want to give or any other plugs for your program? How can we follow along? And if anybody wants more information, because again, we've got some select players in Iowa that might be looking to go out of state. How can they get a hold of you? And yeah, how do we follow along?
Yeah, social media is the best platform. We've got a website through arkansasrugby.org. That's our Arkansas Rugby Foundation that supports both the university, youth, high school, all that kind of good stuff. But social media is the best. Instagram at Arkansas Rugby. We've got a recruitment form that you can fill out there, and we can get in contact with you. And, that's our major financial aid driver is our non-resident tuition advantage program, which, if you're from the state of Iowa or any state really, based on your GPA, you can get in-state tuition at Arkansas. And Northwest Arkansas is one of the last slices of heaven in the country if you haven't been. So campus sells itself. And, I'm thankful for the support that we have from our alumni, from the players that we have and the parents that support them. And we're excited to get the ball rolling, and thanks for having me, Ryan.
Yeah, no, again, good luck this fall. And I'm just saying, I don't know, there's a little space here, maybe an Arkansas rugby ball. I don't know.
Yeah, I've got a couple jerseys.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I can make it work. We can get rid of one of these UNI jerseys. I mean, people already know I always talk about UNI anyway, so we're good. We can move a couple out of the way. But again, Lance, good luck this fall. We'll talk to you soon, and yeah, good luck, man.
Awesome.
Oh, okay. Here we go.
Sorry, we have one quick segment and then the other interview.
Yep. Okay. All right, here we go. Ready? All right, and that was head coach Lance Cummings from Arkansas Rugby. Again, the Great Plains Rugby Conference is going to be a D1AA National Collegiate Rugby Conference. Arkansas, Kansas, Kansas State, Missouri, Oklahoma, Oklahoma State, and Nebraska. I have said this since we started the podcast. I've always believed that, I'm a big fan of NCR. I've said that because I am a big UNI guy, and I love to see how UNI has thrived under their governance. Mm-hmm. And I just want that for everybody, and I know there's all sorts of different things, but I've always said man, I just feel like there's a gap in the middle of the country. I just would love to see the HOA just be picked up and plopped down in NCR, because you've got great teams in Bowling Green, Kentucky, Memphis. Louisville. There's all these teams here, and I'm like, oh, just go a little more west. I'd love to see these CRAA teams play against these NCR teams. And so I'm super excited to see that these 7 teams are now in NCR, and a lot of them have competed in the CRC 7. So excited to see what these guys do. And again, name brand recognition. I love that too. I think if you're going to grow rugby in the United States, you go off of, you recognize Oklahoma. You recognize Nebraska. I mean, even if they haven't done anything in football since 1990. Hey.
They won one in 01.
I forgot. I don't remember.
Fucking Eric Crouch.
He sells real estate now. I think.
Yeah, but I don't know. No, I think he sells like jumbotrons.
Okay. I mean, there's always like an article every year about like, do you know this Heisman? It's like, I've heard this story 100 times. But what I was going to say though, life in Lindenwood and Davenport and all these like NAIA schools that are like some of the top programs in the country, it's hard for an average American sports fan who doesn't know rugby to be like, life, Lindenwood, what are these programs? You go, they're the best. They connect with like football program, you know what I mean? Like
some brand recognition.
Brand recognition, and I think that's something where like, man, we can really latch onto this. It's going to be exciting stuff. So excited to see what they do. Also this summer, excited to see some other things happening. The Iowa Hawkettes, that's the high school girls in Iowa. That's their select side. They've had an awesome summer. So they've gone on. They played at halftime of a TC Gemini match. That's the women's elite rugby professional. They played against the Minnesota select side team. They beat them. That was pretty cool. They had I think they called it the Corn Classic. No, Corn Fest up in Iowa Falls where they played Minnesota again. They've just had a ton of awesome matches this summer. And how cool is it if you're like a 15, 16-year-old high school kid and you're like, I played my sport at halftime of a professional match.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I mean, that'd be pretty awesome.
None of us have done that, so.
No.
Did we play a sevens game at the halftime of a arena football? No, that was Cedar Rapids.
Cedar Rapids did that. Des Moines has done that for the Barnstormers. I know Cedar Rapids has done that. I've always wanted to do it, whatever, but
we played
love to play in the Iowa Barnstormers field.
We played in we played a sevens tournament in Sioux City in their indoor field. It was like 100 years ago, and it was not great. I mean, I think we did all right. We just really, really hung over and threw up a lot.
Were the cronies there?
Yeah, it was when Tyson Toit came back from Iraq or Afghanistan, I think. Anyway.
Nice.
Sorry, I thought it was halftime, but it wasn't. It was just a tournament. But that was, Jesus Christ, that was like 20 years ago.
No, so I think this is great, though. They go from their select side, playing high level, going out of state, and now the fall season for high school girls is starting up here soon. So I think that's great to like parlay, like you play high level rugby and you just take that right into your fall season. Real quick recap. Waverly Shell Rock defeated Cedar Falls last year 33-0 in the state championship. Norwalk finished 9-3, Central Springs 9-3, Southeast Polk was 8-2, Fort Dodge 7-5. So some really cool stuff here. Really hoping to see some numbers grow. I know Valley and Urbandale and Roosevelt had to combine last year due to numbers. Hopefully we see them get their numbers up. I'd love to see some new clubs. I think the board is meeting in the next week or two to really ratify things. So hopefully we hear some announcements of new teams or the schedule coming out soon. But the biggest announcement, the B-Side Boys, we will be live streaming every Monday night at one site, just like we did for the boys in the spring. We're going to do the same thing for the girls, and we will be live streaming the state tournament. So check it out. It's going to be awesome. Love it. It's going to be great. Also, you guys won't be coaching, so you're going to hop on a stream?
I'll definitely do one at least, for sure.
I'll definitely try to make it. No, I want to do it. I want to get back into it. I did the championship game, and that was so much fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, see, I'll definitely do one or two.
Yeah,
for sure.
I was like, if I can get there for after work and shit, but no, I definitely want to do it. It's so much fun just talking about rugby.
It's fun.
Yeah.
It is actually really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know, it gets you more like. That's why I was like, I never knew that Central Springs was a solid rugby club. You know, the ladies, and I saw them during that championship game. I was like, they're a solid team. You know, so it gets more eyes on these teams that I would never have even watched if I didn't commentate on them. So I definitely want to watch them and see some more of these girls play because they're some dogs.
Well, and also like you're seeing these girls play in high school and they're going to high level programs, right? Like, so I was doing some commentary for the CRC sevens, and like it was in the Premier Division, and the amount of girls that like there were so many matches happening, and it was like you didn't have much time to like preview the next match, and all of a sudden I'm like reading through, I'm like, oh, it's Lily Stowe. She's from Waverly. Oh, Liberty Cawthorn. She was from Roosevelt. Like, oh my God, like there's all these kids where I'm just like, holy smokes, like at Frostburg, at Aquinas, like
you'll get like live and like random ones in there too. It's just like some really good programs.
Right. We just need Anna Deegan to write us notes again. That helped a lot. That
was awesome.
She had to break down notes of every player. I was like, that helped a lot.
Anna Deegan was on the board, or she is on the board for the high school girls, and she watched film. She watched basically every single match that happened. So she asked the teams for their film when they hosted. She watched every single match. She looked at stats. She knew everything about everyone. She gave us like these like spreadsheets of like, here's all the data.
It was like 20 pages worth.
You're not supposed to admit all that. You're supposed to just make it seem like you know it all.
People know that I don't know.
I don't know.
That's why it's the B-Side. But it's a team. It's a team effort. That's why I brought her on, because I knew. I was just like, hey, can you bring like the data? And she's like, oh boy, can I? I was like, cool. So actually,
and I'll bring the looks. Yeah.
And Phil, you're cut. Sorry.
Yeah, well.
Unless you can watch, 200 hours of high school girls rugby.
I'm good with being cut.
Man.
I feel like, Nichols, there's been a couple times I'm like, hey, I'm looking for someone to do some commentary. Like, you free? And you're just like, yeah.
No.
Nah. Unless it's like at Valley and nothing is going on. Probably not. And then the one time it was at Valley, you're like, I would, but I have a thing this time. It's like, yeah. Well.
He didn't have a thing.
Honestly, I'd love to see Nichols on like a live stream rather than something that you can cut up. I think that would be interesting.
It would be fun. Maybe it'll happen.
A lot of F-bombs would be thrown. That you
Hit the dump button.
When they start serving alcohol in the high school stands, then I'll be there.
Oh, man. Oh, and it's funny, too, because it's like whenever I do commentary, I try to like remind people, like, remember someone's grandma might be watching, like, lift up the people doing something good. Let's just not talk about the people who do something bad. I could see someone like doing a bonehead play, and you'd be like, what the fuck is that person? What a fucking idiot. It's like,
that was fucking dumb.
their grandma's watching, and then in the chat, like, who is that boy?
It's just your grandma's probably watching.
Actually, no, she watches all the stuff, so... Hey, hi, Grandma. Yeah, she's our number one fan.
She hasn't complained about me yet, so...
Well, yeah.
I haven't heard that she complained about me yet, so that's your fault.
We'll just keep it at that.
Wait, do you talk to my grandma?
Yeah, I'm also on the B-Side Bois chat. Every time she messages the B-Side Bois,
but you've never said anything off color?
Oh, yeah, no, all the time. But I always take care of all the DMs. It's this thing. So.
Do you see those?
Oh, yeah, every single time.
That's awesome.
Really?
Yes.
Nice.
That's funny. And you've never been like, hey, you could just take me off. You just let them pop up.
I just let them pop up.
You're a little
switch over back.
You're a little creepy boy.
Creepy little creep.
That's why I keep thinking, I'm like, God, how did I miss that message? Who opened it?
Oh, yeah, that's me.
No, so check out our live streams. That's going to be a lot of fun. And speaking of live streams, though, like I said, if you've been following, I've been getting into more live streaming stuff, and it's been cool to meet like new people, get new perspectives. And one person I got to work with during the Midwest Thunderbird Cup, when all the senior select sides and the U23s get together, Darian Lovelace from the College Rugby Show.
Yep.
We talked to one of her co-hosts a couple of episodes ago, which was a lot of fun. I think we could have talked to him for it
was a good time.
10 hours. It was like, we got to let you go. We haven't recorded any of this. But yeah, Darian, she is going to join us here in just a second where, talking about the women's game, right? We got the girls' high school season coming up, women's elite rugby, the championships coming up here soon. There's a lot of UNI, Cedar Falls ties to the TC Gemini, and just kind of like rugby in general. The College Rugby Show, if you don't follow it already, make sure you follow it. They're doing some fun stuff. They're trying to make it feel like that ESPN College Game Day, They want to give you the rugby stories. They want to make it digestible. They want to, I don't know, grow the sport.
It's
just
a
us.
It's a good watch. It's a good product. You should check it out.
Yeah, here's the best part about it too. Their episodes are like a fourth of the length of ours.
Yeah, see, this one's already getting long.
I usually just watch their reels on Insta, and it gives me all the info I need.
See, that's why we're doing the video, so we can do reels. YouTube shorts, right?
Yeah.
Think about our podcast as like a 15s game, and there's like a 7s game. 15s is way better than 7s.
That's why when I look,
I'm saying it for years.
That's why when I look at the analytics, nobody in college or high school watches this because it's not 7s. Whenever you ask older guys are like 15s is real rugby. You ask younger guys, 7s.
Is this ageist because I'm the oldest one here?
Wow.
We're like a year apart.
Well, but I'm still older.
Oh my god.
Let's get to the interview. It's the worst lead-in we've ever done.
Boo this man.
All right. Here's Darian. All right, and welcome to the interview portion of the show. We have a very special guest on today's episode, Darian Lovelace from National Collegiate Rugby, the college rugby show. Also, she just got announced as the Life University Business Development Coordinator. She also just was nominated and elected into the CRC College Rugby Championship Hall of Fame. And she's a commentator for Next Level Rugby. And that's actually, Darian, where you and I first really met and worked together was through Next Level Rugby. You've got the nice Hawaiian shirt on.
Like
so
it.
I love that.
I'm here with Ginty. We actually shot the club nationals out of 2 RVs in St. Louis, Missouri. And as an incentive, I think, to get us all to come, he got us all these really cool Hawaiian shirts. I think it was to spot us out in the crowd if we needed to be on, because you know how quick Club 7s is. And I was so annoying about this bucket hat, and I was thinking about it today, and I was like, oh my gosh, I have no idea where that little bugger went. Ginty will tell you I was so annoying about the bucket hat, but I figured I had to represent. It was so much fun calling the game with you. I know that you were part of that broadcast academy with Dallin too. So yeah, it was really fun to finally be able to work to you. I'm a big fan of the podcast, very invested in it. We were talking about some of the episodes before. So yeah, I'm really excited to be here with you.
Yeah, no, we appreciate it. And you guys have always been really good to us as we're trying to find our way in the rugby landscape. But again, so many things that you have done, not only as a player, but now off the field as well, helping grow the exposure and the brand and telling the stories of these athletes. So can you tell our audience who might not know, a little bit about yourself, what you want people to know about you and what you bring to the rugby landscape?
Yeah, you're hitting all of the nails right now on the head. Right now, as you said, I'm getting ready to go back to Life University with a very different role than playing there, like I did for my 4 years, and where I was able to really accomplish a lot. I'm very grateful and indebted to the school for a wonderful career. And being able to go back and be able to apply some of the I'm getting my master's in business administration, which is part of it as well. So being able to kind of learn something in the classroom and then instantly being able to apply it to try and tell the story of one of the biggest names in college rugby, which is Life University. Because I think right now the key for us as we lead up into the next few years, we have a big events coming here to the Americas. And I just think it's very important to talk about the storyline of players, get more fans invested in this. And I think like you said, we're just trying to find our way through it, right? It's a different time in women's and men's rugby, trying to find ways to tell the story. And it'll be fun, I think, to just come back and focus a full year on just rugby. I love rugby more than anything. I think a lot of us do. My fiance wouldn't like that I said I love him more than anything. I love him especially. But yeah, it's just being able to find a way to tell new fans about the sport of rugby and what it means to us here in America. It's going to be fun to kind of find a way through that. And also just doing the college rugby show, we've created such a fun culture to be able to talk about rugby and to be able to see other podcasts and stuff start to come up and really find their footing a little bit in a rocky landscape. Yeah, it's fun to be a part of that, and I really wanted to be. And the CRCs, I think, was a little bit of an inspiration for that because getting inducted into the Hall of Fame was really special there, and then kind of thinking to myself we need more. And I'm the type of person where if we need more, then I can be that.
Mm-hmm.
And so, for me, it was just the opportunities just aligned really well for me to be able to go back to school, get the MBA, and then hopefully being able to bring it, to a lot of different places and just see what happens with it.
Yeah, definitely. And, thinking back to the original CRCs way back when, it seemed like they wanted name brand recognition. And that was kind of an idea when it was on NBC, pulling in big names of universities you recognize maybe in men's college football, but maybe they don't have the rugby programs. And I know that's something we talk about a lot on our podcast is when we're trying to reach out to new fans, or I'm talking to parents about recruiting in college. And when I was coaching at Roosevelt Girls High School, we had a girl go to Lindenwood, and people are thinking, oh, the NAIA school, what do they do? And it's like, they're one of the top programs explaining Davenport, explaining life, and showing these programs are playing at a high level and going international. It's not just the name brand Texas and UCLA. You're also pulling in these NAIA schools. So I think that's so important to tell those stories and really see where these players are going and where they're coming from. And I know a big part of our podcast, that's why we started, was telling the story, getting everyone on the same page, and then also having fun. That's what it's all about. I think that's what keeps us all involved in rugby. Having that fun. You go from player and now on this side of it, how has rugby changed in the women's landscape in the last 10 years?
I mean, just a lot more opportunities, I think. And one thing that I've recognized, I think, from playing in the last 10 years is that the passing and the field vision has changed dramatically. The ball's moving a lot faster. The ball's in play for a lot longer. You're seeing things develop. The adaptations happen on the fly. And that's that next level that you want to bring into international competitions. And I think what you're saying as far as whenever the CRCs first started, they were just trying to find a way to brand rugby, right? And I think that's where we're kind of all at, is how do we brand this sport to make it so that other people want to come and watch it? And I think one part that I really want to focus on is at Life, being able to tell individual stories of athletes where hopefully we can generate something like the Mar effect, where they find somebody who they really like, which you have a whole slew of them in rugby, I promise. We're very likable people. Being able to kind of get people to come and watch the player, right? Because if we can get people to come and watch the player, then we can get them to stay for the rest of the games, right? Like once you watch one, you're hooked. And I think that's kind of the secret sauce right now that people are trying to figure out is how do we use that? How do we create that? And how do we keep, building on that? But the opportunities, being able to play elite competition the way that the teams are able to, the amount of high level competition that's happening, I think also the funding. Like back whenever the Olympics happened, there was nearly $4 million that was poured into the USA Sevens. So things are kind of happening, I think, at a rapid rate. Mm-hmm. But like you said, it's all in good fun. That's what rugby is all about.
Yeah. And I think we're lucky too, because, football has these great marketable athletes, but they're behind pads. They're behind a face mask. We get to see the faces. We get to hear the huddles. I love the referee mic when, you're at the scrum down and you can hear the conversations between, as a prop myself, you hear the opposing props talking smack to each other. Maybe a few F-bombs get dropped here and there. We're still figuring that out, but it's fun. And we have great characters. We talk about, you go to any club across the country, whether it's high school, college, senior side, characters all over the place and sharing their stories. And that's something I want to give, National Collegiate Rugby, the College Rugby Show credit for is, when there's a tournament, there is the same level of love and care for that D3 game as there is for the D1. Like, nothing makes me more happy. I'm a former University of Northern Iowa guy, D2 guy. And man, when we created our social media back in 2010, we wrote fake stories to get attention. I'm pretty sure it was when Rugby Mag, tagged Pat Clifton to be like, hey, we're really good. We just wrote about ourselves because nothing existed, right? So
who else
you
is
guys
gonna do it?
Right. And so we would just share our own stuff. Maybe that's the secret of the B-Side Boys too. I don't know. But
stay tuned for that one.
I only run 6 social media accounts. But anyways, you're telling the stories of everybody and pulling people in. And, it doesn't matter what level, it's that experience. And then again, pulling in and we see it with our high school stuff in Iowa, those grandparents from out of state, they get to see it on a close level. They get to learn the game because it's so hard to find some of these clips and to learn the game. And you guys do a great job telling the stories, and then the production level as well. So everyone go follow the College Rugby Show. What kind of things do you have in store for this fall? We're kind of jumping ahead to that, but it's just exciting because it's a fun broadcast that you guys have created.
Well, I think we have a meeting on Friday. We're already talking about trying to get, and this is theoreticals, but trying to get shorter episodes more often because there's so much that happens during that time. And I think right now there's so much that we can do with the brand of college rugby. We've got we've got big organizations that are involved in college rugby right now. So being able to just showcase the players, tell the stories about the team and give it a platform. We recently just came out with one of, I think, arguably is one of the best documentaries I've ever seen for rugby, which is Chasing the Legacy. I was really grateful to be a part of that and McKenna, we got to give a shout out to her for really taking that and spearheading it and being the fuel to the fire. But again, finding those niche little ways to tell the story is what we're trying to do on the College Rugby Show. It just so happens that we're just like a bunch of goofballs who love nothing more than to like talk smack about each other, but also like be the villains in people's story. Mm-hmm. So that part, I think enjoyment is really contagious. And so I think all three of us together, that chemistry, we do a really good job of getting people excited about it and investing, the time and having a reason why they should invest. That's really, I think, what we're trying to show. And if you haven't watched it, it's on YouTube. It's on the College Rugby Show. You've got to watch it. Between AIC and Brown University, that was like a matchup it's still shocking. So that was a really fun thing to be a part of.
Definitely. And yeah, the production quality again, and just the high level of play, just growing year after year. And again, when Zach came on our podcast, man, we cut the film and we kept talking. We probably could have talked for 3 or 4 hours just goofing around. It was like, yep, this is exactly like, it doesn't matter what corner of the country you go to. Rugby is rugby. The people are the people, they care. And it's something special about this community, but we're all trying to bring people in. We're not gatekeeping because the World Cup is coming up. We have a World Cup coming up in a couple years or next year. But then in 2031, U.S. soil is going to be the home of the World Cup for rugby. And, feeding off of this soccer World Cup, I think there's some momentum we can get onto. So with where you sit, you've got the national landscape, you're with a high level program in life, how do we grow and support women's rugby? And I know 2031 is the men's World Cup, but right after is the women's. How do we support women's rugby so that we can get, your average sport fan who's a non-rugby fan, how do we pull them in?
I think a big thing is that we have to figure out how to take teams and turn them into organizations, right? We've got to be able to find ways to brand these teams, get the names out there more, be able to develop something that's sustainable where we can get to the point where players, coaches, staff, all they have to do is focus on rugby. We'll bring the rest of the players, right? And I think that takes really developing an organization to find ways to show and sell rugby as a product that people are really going to want to watch, and that it's going to be by popular demand, right? It's going to be by people talking about it, wanting to show up. But right now, I think that rugby needs more support from its existing fans than ever. Like the importance of you finding your local club, your local college, anything that's rugby and showing up for games. Like a lot of people now have developed their social medias. A lot of teams are investing in that. They have websites. They have easy ways for you to get tickets. So to me, another big component that is something that's kind of underlying is that people need to show up for games, and enjoy the game and be there for that family-friendly, violent sport to kind of unfold. Because I think bringing everyone together, bringing everybody under one umbrella, is going to be important. And what I like about their business program is that they really place an emphasis on positive leadership. And I want to bring more of that to leadership boards so that hopefully we can create a positive, fun experience for American fans who don't know about the sport to feel comfortable coming into something. Even though it looks like absolute chaos, there's so many rules and regulations and things we have to be aware of. And it's a lot to ask somebody to come into something that's new. But if we can make it so that it's more comfortable, then I mean, I think that's the one step that we need to like get into the door.
Yeah, and that's something like the Chicago Hounds. The last few years, I've driven out from Iowa to the Chicago Hounds. I love how they have a tailgate, and players who aren't in that top 23 are in the tailgate. It's family friendly, like you said. The TC Gemini, I love to see what they're doing because a lot of former UNI Panthers are up there. It's really cool to see them and their social media telling people why they should come out. You know, that's about a 4-hour drive from my place. I want to take my daughter to one of their matches as well because it's just a really cool vibe. But like you said, we got to get people in those seats, and I think they've got the right idea. It's just kind of that mixing of, you know, the money, the people who are backing it, and can it sustain? Because, you know, the Houston SaberCats, I thought they had an amazing infrastructure from the outside looking in. So when they went under, I was just, it hurt, you know, but there's so many things we don't see. And then the past couple of weeks of USA women, you wake up at 6 a.m., you hope you see the match against South Africa, and then there's some issues there. I don't know everything that's going on. I saw some people on Instagram talking. They're going to do a deep dive on the issue behind that, but it's like
it'll be on Reddit.
Yeah, and it's like
go on Reddit and see what the court case files look like there. And I think like it is frustrating, but again, people are trying, right? And I think that's one thing to acknowledge is that I think people are consistently trying. It's just we have to be able to develop some level of consistency with it, right? And responsibility. And right now, I think responsibility really relies very much on fans, right? Like if you go, and I don't think also like people fully understand how much it takes, how much money it takes to run even just like you said, a club rugby team. Like the amount of money that it takes to make sure that these players pay their dues for the field, for the referees, for the travel, food, like all of those things cost a lot of money. And where that money should be coming from is people who want to come and watch it, right? You buy a ticket, you buy 4 tickets for you, your partner, and then kids. You get a beer, you get a few beers, obviously. We all dabble into one more than a few. And then you get a few t-shirts, right? Like that could be an extra $300 that goes straight to your club. And that's what we're missing is that we need to fill up the stands and make it so that it's an experience that people want to. And I think that, like you said, the Chicago Hounds did a brilliant job there. I think one thing that the Houston SaberCats really struggled with was creating an environment that people wanted to continuously come to. And finding the right locations for a big sports complex, like all of those things, they're so much based, I think, right now on trial and error because very few have done it and have consistently been able to do it. And right now, I think that the Hounds, the Gemini, like a lot of other teams too, are really leading the front and being able to get like more butts in seats because that's what because that's the crucial piece that we need.
Definitely. And I will, give another shout out to NCR, another event that is just so well done. Again, the CRC sevens. When you are watching those matches, I was doing some commentary for those as well, and you can see in the background, it is a festival experience. I mean, that is something I think that is really well done too, of when you go, you're not just going to show up, sit down, you watch the game, you go home. It is an experience. There is interactive things with players, with fans. There's interaction with you guys, the commentary teams, and all the personalities in the crowd. People are getting interviewed. I saw a guy from Northeast Iowa, Adam Samiel. His son plays for a team and was out there, and he got interviewed by someone, and he was wearing a real goofy shirt. It was just like, hey, I know him. Like, it was a live event. I mean, alive. I mean, you could feel it through the screen being, so many miles away. It's in Maryland. I'm in Iowa, but you could just feel the energy. And I think that's something too. Like people need to see it in person. And some of these sevens tournaments, they have that festival feel, just translating that into most events, every event, make it so people don't want to miss out. Even if they have no clue what rugby is, they go home saying, that was a lot of fun. I don't know what happened, but I had fun.
Did I do that? Yeah. Well, and I think like it's again like family friendly, and I think NCR is doing something that some teams might be a little bit scared to do, which is that they're trying new things, right? Like the college rugby show reminds me a lot of that like ESPN type vibe where that's what you tune into to get to the experts. And be able to have them talk you through what happened in the match. And they're one of the few that is trying something that's out of the box, that's an American type of viewership. And from there, hoping that that's going to get more people to want to watch it, right? And I think at this point, it's just about trying new things, right? We have nothing to lose and everything to gain if things go well, right?
Yep.
And being able to hold on to that a little bit, I hope that it encourages more people to try like what you're doing, like try a podcast for your state and talk about them, try and do something for your local club, but make sure that you're there at the games and that you're paying full price for tickets.
Yeah, no freebies. And,
no freebies anymore. We got to cut that. Everybody has to buy a ticket. Like, even if it's $10, just do it. You'll be shocked at how much $10 does for a club.
Well, and it's funny too, because it's like you make the joke like, oh, friendship deal. And it's like, if you're in rugby, we're all friends, right? I mean, if you want 40 brand new friends, we always say this with our men's club, the Wombats. If you're looking for 40 friends, just show up on Wednesday night at practice. Boom, you're set. So you can't really do friendship pricing when everybody's friends with each other. But the reason why too, Darian, I really wanted to have you on, in Iowa, our high school girls league starts in the fall. So it's coming up here soon. We're already almost back to school. Hate to say it. I'm on summer break right now, so a little sad about that, but I'm so excited for this upcoming season. We have such great talent in the high school. We're seeing them play in the Iowa Hawkettes Select, playing all summer long. Then you're seeing a lot of these girls go on, not just to club colleges, but also some D1 varsity level colleges. They're getting selected for camps. Morgan Link is over there with the TC Gemini. We're so proud of these girls. And so as these coaches and players are getting ready for this fall season, what advice do you have for them just to prepare for this upcoming season as a player or coach?
There's so many there's so many memories I think that come flooding back from like playing in high school and then entering into the pathway, and how much enjoyment that was. I mean, wholeheartedly, I think my only piece of advice is to really just like enjoy it. Enjoy being together, creating space for each other, and filling it in a really like bold and beautiful and brutal way, right? Like smash people, make them feel really comfortable on the ground. Make sure you get low. That's key. Like if there's one piece of advice that any person will tell you, it's about getting low. And to get like, I think an important skill set whenever you're in high school that if you can learn it, it'll be lethal throughout the rest, is catch pass, right? Get the ball into space early, make sure that you get it into a better space than what you're in. And then from there, you can always celebrate those special moments. You can always, celebrate later. But I just think, yeah, that would kind of be my advice. If I would have known what I know now, I would have definitely like taken more time to like enjoy those people around me during those big moments.
All right. So another question about advice, because when I was coaching Roosevelt High School girls in Des Moines, Iowa, one thing I struggled with was helping with recruitment, because being a middle-aged guy who runs a men's club and coaching girls for the first time, the mindset was different, especially like contact sports and no one knows what's going on, leaned heavily on those seniors to do it for me. So what advice do you have for the coaches and players? How do you recruit new girls into the sport where maybe they're not used to contact sports? In Iowa, we do have wrestling now for girls, so that's been a help. But how do you get more girls interested in the sports at the high school and middle school level?
You know how in a rugby huddle, the coach will ask, what is going to make a certain skill set better? And the number one answer that everybody says is usually communication, right? And I think just increasing the amount of communication, if you're really struggling or if you start noticing a little bit of a struggle, that's when you should be proactive about it, right? Don't wait till the last minute whenever you're a week out from a game and you're down a few players, right? It's about, I think, finding places that the team likes to enjoy going, and then from there kind of see who shows up, right? I'm sure that a lot of businesses would love to open up the doors to be able to give you a booth. One thing that the team down here in Southwest Florida did for their women's program, they started it about 2 years ago, and they've got about 30 players that are showing up consistently. And I think one thing that they did really well is that they, on their Instagram, they were out everywhere, right? At gyms, at farmers markets, at local events, sporting events, like getting the name out there. And it's not just about setting up the booth, right, and passing around the ball. It's about genuinely like trying your best to interact with as many people as possible, right? because the more people that you interact, the chance that you have of somebody wanting to come and try it, you know, because they feel comfortable and they see that you're welcoming. So yeah, I think whenever you're talking about recruiting, biggest thing that most teams have to work on is just the exposure of constantly trying to reach out and communicate to people face to face. I think is like the best way to try and get somebody to come.
Definitely. And that's actually how I joined rugby. Was my college roommate got recruited and he gave them a misdirect to me and was like, I'm kind of interested, but you can ask him. And like, we weren't together. And then this guy just shows up. Hey, you come to practice. And then 3 days later, I'm in Columbia, Missouri, playing in my first match. No clue what's going on. I mean, big net, real connection, and just everybody. No, I love it. Because it's so tough to just numbers. It's always a numbers game. And I'm just so excited for this girls' season. We've seen it as well here in Iowa. The level of play, the level of skill, strategy, tactics, it's going up every single year. I'm telling you, if you're ever swinging through Iowa for, something in the college game, if you can stop by on a Monday night for some girls action, check it out. Or B-Side Boys, we will be streaming every single Monday night at one site, and we'll have the state tournament. So make sure you check in. If you want to sponsor the stream, people can reach out to the B-Side Boys. But yeah, we've got the last year's state championship on YouTube. So yeah, if you're interested, anybody out there, we will be streaming every single Monday night from one location. We're just really excited that people can see this and we can get it into coaches' hands and grandparents' hands and, just continuing to grow that. And as we're, watching more rugby and there's more options to watch rugby, you see a lot of it. And that's what I love about your guys' show too. It really helps me out so I don't have to do all the digging on Facebook and Instagram of like, who's doing what. You guys just say, here's what's happening. I'm like, oh, thank God. So as we prep for the fall season, who are some names of players, coaches, or even teams that we should watch out for and keep an eye on?
Well, there's it like you said, I had a little bit of a script before coming in here and I was trying to think about it, and I'm going to be honest with you, I got so overwhelmed because I was like, there's just way too many to name. I can tell you though that a lot of the teams that you are, if you're tuning in, a lot of the teams that you love already have their schedules out. So make sure that you go ahead, you tune in, you try and find ways to watch it. I think some games that are coming up here in the next few weeks are really important to watch, like Life University Women's Rugby. They take on the USA Falcons on August 3rd, and everybody already is talking about that match. This is going to be, the best of the best playing, and USA Rugby is streaming it. So you've got to watch that. The WER finals, our women's professional league, is on August 8th in Glendale, Colorado. That's going to be a really fun matchup to watch. And then the final one that I think is my personal favorite is Club Rugby is coming up here very, very soon. It's going to be an all-day, all-weekend tournament, August 8th through the 9th. Next Level Rugby is putting it on. So I think if you are looking for your own teams to watch, make sure that you find it. But for me, I feel like I'm getting a lot of opportunities, so I'm just taking it like week by week, and those few matches that are coming up and USA Club Nationals, I think like if you're wanting to tune in or find rugby, especially in the next few weeks, you've got to watch those matches.
Love it. Just so much happening. And again, the options we have, it's so much different than 10 years ago to think that you can turn on the club nationals and you can just watch it from your house. And and they said too, is this like the first time that we've seen Life or any club play against this USA program in a matchup like this? I mean, just some historic stuff. And then again, be looking for the B-Side Boys. I want to get a watch party in Central Iowa for that WER final because again, with the girls season coming up in Iowa, it's just so many huge things that are happening right now. So we love it. Huge fall coming up. Where can people follow you to see what you're up to? How can they, check those things out? And yeah, what's coming up for you?
I'm kind of going through, I feel like a personal rebranding, right? With me going back and getting my MBA and also just having the opportunity that I'm so grateful for to be able to kind of be a mouthpiece for rugby. I'm just trying to figure out what that kind of looks like. So you can follow me on Instagram. I'm hoping to kind of start having just the time to focus on rugby things. So that'll be an exciting change. So Instagram is the name Darian Lovelace. It will change next November, but as of right now, it still stays as that. And then obviously the college rugby show, you've got to tune in for that one. We're going to start up here very, very soon and get you some more content when it comes to the college games, and then hopefully have a live show at in December. So then that way we can talk through the nationals for 15s. And then, yeah, Life University Women's Rugby. I'll be doing a lot of work with them. Very excited to work alongside, I'm very, very biased. I would say the best collegiate program, but one of the best. We can say that. Just excited to kind of get into the minds of these super elite athletes, the elite coaching staff that they have, and kind of figure out what the secret sauce is and see what we can do to get more people involved. But yeah, and then who knows, always we're talking some smack on Next Level Rugby, so they're always producing something. But yeah, I feel like right now I'll kind of have my hands in those cookie jars for for at least the fall, and then we'll see what comes next.
Nice. Definitely keeping you busy. And one final question for you. This is, a Midwest podcast. People listen from all over, but a big chunk of our base is from Iowa. And we love our UNI Panthers, our Iowa Hawkeyes, our Iowa State Cyclones. Iowa Central is starting up a women's program as well. So, just placate us a little bit. What are your thoughts on just women's rugby in Iowa in general? Just something that I can clip for the socials, because again, with this generation, I need like a 15, 30-second clip. And we'll use it from here because that's something too you said earlier, like shorter episodes. When my buddies come over, right, Nichols, Gimli, Philly V, and Sam, it's nice because we sit in the Wombat Den. It is a bar. We do throw up a rugby match. We drink some beers. I'm cool hanging out for 2 to 3 hours. It's just hanging out with the boys. But then when you look at the analytics, it's like hardly anybody listens to the whole thing. I'm like, it's for me. It's not for them.
Yeah, until the edit comes, you're like, it's perfect content up until then. Speaking about you and I will forever have a special place in my heart because they showed up and picked up the slack for us during the 15s competition. We appreciate them. But when they came, there was this moment we were asking about, what's your team's hype up song? And somehow I got involved in a karaoke of The Climb by Miley Cyrus. It hits very deep in the soul. I think, and the Hawkeyes, I think, are always really fun. Very physical teams. Like, I love watching a physically dominant team. And I think the Hawkeyes are just really fun to watch anytime they get on the field. I know that they're going to smash people, and that's always exciting for me. But I think one thing that's really special about Iowa and really the Midwest in general is that you guys have a really cool culture, like a really cool, easy culture, but you guys are also like really like freakishly athletic at the same time. And like, I think that that's really fun to watch. I mean, the Gemini right now are one of my favorite sides to watch just because I mean, like, they look like they're good at rugby, Like, I just think that the way that you guys talk about rugby, you guys love rugby, the people that play, your culture for Iowa and the Midwest, I think is just really special. And it's fun to kind of always see them. I know that UNI is like more than happy to come up to the booth. I know that the Hawkeyes are. The Hawkeyes, just like they love to smash people, they also love to come up and like bring the receipts for what happened on the show for us. And we have to be like, yeah, we said that. We meant it. And then they're like, well, we'll prove you wrong. And we're just like, let's see it. Let's see it. I'd love to watch it. But yeah, just like a cool vibey kind of culture, I think comes out of Iowa. And also like, I just love the fact that you guys are trying new things. Like, you guys aren't afraid to try and you guys are very brave. So I think that that's like a really crucial piece of the sport. And you guys really bring that on the sides.
I appreciate that. So we're going to clip that. That's just the whole episode right there. That's going to do the numbers.
Actually, that's the only reason why I brought you here was to just talk about how amazing Iowa is. You want to know? Okay, so I've only driven through Iowa. I've never been there, right? And here's the thing is that you can't fault me for this. Iowa, for me, I had this 5th grade teacher, and he always used to like talk smack to the teacher across the way, and she was from Iowa. And one time she made a jab at him, and he turned around and he's like, you want to know what Iowa stands for? And she goes, what? And he goes, idiots out walking around. And I was like, and I don't know why, but that is like, anytime that I hear Iowa, I think about Mr. Bybee 5th grade and him saying that. And now I'm like, okay, but like most of my friends were just like big idiots, just like walking around. So, if that's the case, then I'm an Iowan, an Iowee.
That's awesome. So, what was his name? Mr. Bybee. Mr. Bybee, he's on the list, on the B-Side Boys hate list. So we can officially say
we don't like him. Not you, Sean Bybee.
It's a very short list, but he's near the top at the moment. But no, and it's funny you say that too. There really is a sense of pride of that physicality. Like our boys' high school select side team, they've been doing this thing and it's like transferred over. Now they're in college. And I think everyone just has this feel is they just say corn. and then they use the corn emoji, like corn fed, just, we're going to run right at you. But then also, too, as they're running, you go, well, he's fast, too. Like, it's not just power. There's also speed, and there is a sense of pride of, like, we are in the Midwest Rugby Union. I think Iowa has the smallest population out of the 8 state unions. And there is a sense of pride of, like, no, we'll go toe-to-toe with anybody, you know.
I love that.
Love to see it.
David and Goliath, who doesn't love that story? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, like our Bremer County, that's a town of 10,000 people, Waverly. We played against the St. Louis Royals in a men's national championship. St. Louis versus Waverly, right? So, I mean, there's little things like that where it's like, yeah, there's a huge sense of pride. And you and I, the men, we'd said, born in the woods. Doesn't make sense for a Panther, but that's what we said. And there's just toughness. So the fact that, like, you guys can see it, like, I think that means a lot to people because it's a true identity. It's not just for show. And then again, when the match is over, I feel like everyone's like, all right, let's hang out, let's chill. And we're all friends. And no, I love it. So appreciate you for doing that. Cause I know it's always one of those things like, oh, this person's from outside of our bubble. So what do you think about us?
I did not follow suit of what happened in 5th grade, okay? I've completely changed my ways. You and I'm always down for karaoke. You don't have to tell me twice. We'll sing Friends in Low Places next. and then we'll all be good. Yeah, the chillness, I think, too, is that you guys are so feisty, but then at the end of the match, you're like the first people to offer a beer. You know, the Midwest, like, just this level of kindness that I think really represents rugby, where it's like we go and we beat the hell out of each other. And then afterwards, we're kind, sweet, like Zen people because we burned off all of our frustrations and now we have nothing left.
Right. No, that is awesome. And again, if you want to follow Darian, check her out on Instagram. And again, follow the College Rugby Show. NCR is doing some really cool things. And again, we got to keep building this up from the bottom up, right? World Cup is coming. We've got some great talent on both the men's and women's USA sides. And there's just exciting things all across. Check out Iowa Girls High School Rugby on the B-Side Bois YouTube page and Iowa Youth Rugby Association, their Facebook and Instagram as well. So Darian, again, I can't thank you enough for joining us and having a good time. You're always welcome to, talk smack. If you can't say it on the College Rugby Show, you can always drop it here and dozens of people will see it.
I need to just figure out how to get all 3 of us into the Wombat Den. Like, us 3, I feel like at this point we've already had the 2. Pat likes a little bit more, like, he's a little bit more bougie, maybe a little bit. So, like, for him, he would be like, no, we have to do it in the Wombat Den. So I don't know how we make that happen, but I feel like we can find a way.
Offers on the table. There's plenty of stools. Our January episode when we started, I think we had 12 people in here around this little bar. So let's make it happen sometime. So Darian, thank you. Thanks for joining us. And we'll follow along and we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.
You should leave the clapping.
God damn it. There's a camera on us. We don't know how to act.
But every time we mess up, I feel like it's like, well, we're the B-Side
That's the
boys.
bit. That's the point. It's
They're like,
supposed
you
to
guys are so good at making it look like you fuck off all the time.
Well,
like, that bit Phil does where he doesn't prep.
Really, never there. Super committed.
These are all bits that we planned and we meticulously noted out.
Really committed to the bit.
We live the bit. It's like Chris Jericho in pro wrestling said. He's like, the best characters are when you're yourself turned up to 11. Then you're at 12. Sorry, I grabbed your knee before you could.
I'm convinced. Honestly,
oh yeah, me too.
I'm convinced that Phil preps for the shows that he doesn't show up for.
Nope.
Nope, doesn't even do any of it.
Who wants what kind of beer?
I'll do Yingling.
Surprise me.
Oh.
Well, it looks like you have a Gatorade Zero half drink.
Where's your honeymoon?
Secret's Acumal. So it's like hour south of Cancun.
Oh, nice.
Like north
Mexico?
of Tulum. Yeah. Beautiful.
Is that on like is Cancun? That's on the Gulf side?
Yeah.
Like
kind,
by the fucking Horn?
Pretty much, yeah.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Ever been? Ever been? Not physically.
What's that from?
What? You don't know?
No.
Always Sunny in Philly.
Which one?
The one where they do the timeshare?
Oh.
Ever been to Florida? Florida? Been there? Not physically.
Oh, they come back soon.
I know. Can't wait, dude.
It's gonna be.
Oh, it's gonna be awesome.
All right. Hounds time. Okay, everybody ready?
Yep.
Don't open your beers yet. We'll all do it together. What if we all did it at the same time? That'd be so silly.
At the same day.
At the same time. Do you still have 2 phones? I have a trash can right there. You don't have to put those there.
Yeah, put them there.
Yeah, fuck it.
Yeah, yeah. Or you'd be like Vic when I'm like, hey, just be careful you don't spill. And immediately Vic has this fucking bottle of Modelo. And he just goes, boom, and he just spilled everywhere. I'm like, that's fine.
That's fine. It's untreated. It's fine.
Yeah.
Good thing you have cases for all your little cards.
Well, yeah. And that's the thing. I have the stuff to treat this, but then I'm just fucking too lazy to do it. But, whatever. All right. Okay. Hounds. All right.
Okay.
Hounds, what to watch? Yeah, we're basically, we got like maybe 6 minutes left, but we'll drag it out for another 4. All right, ready? 3, 2, 1. All right, and that was Darian Lovelace from the College Rugby Show. So make sure you give that a follow. And, in that interview, we were talking a little bit about programs that do an amazing job, or, organizations that do a great job, like making rugby accessible to non-rugby fans and just people in general. Chicago Hounds, they do an awesome job. I think whenever I've gone out to their matches, the tailgate with the players who come out and hang out, the environment, they always try to do fun little things. They have concerts. They do an amazing job. And it really paid off this year, where you could tell they had, from the inception of the club to this past championship, they had a plan. They saw it through. They're the first team in Major League Rugby to go undefeated. They win the championship over the California Legion. What a match in the rain. A little gross, but it was a neutral site, but it was in Chicago at their home field, so it was like a home game for them. I think the weather kind of made some people not show up, which was kind of a bummer. But it was a really fun match. I was there in person to watch. Again, conditions, terrible, but some good rugby. It was fun. Yeah. I know, Sam, you're a big Hounds fan. You've gone to a lot of matches. Yep. What's some of the favorite things that the Hounds do that you appreciated throughout the season?
Well, yeah, I mean, they make the environment feel like they try their hardest to make it feel like a football environment. Like the music's good, all the the DJs that we were talking about and all that stuff. Like they
DJ Diesel?
Yeah, DJ Diesel. But no, the game that we went to this year, it was they bring your hound to the Hounds game. So they try to do activities like that to entice people to come. You can take your dog on the field and all, or walk around the track, and not exactly on the field. But yeah, you can take them, walk them around and stuff. So doing that stuff just helps people come to the games. And yeah, you're right, the tailgates and all that stuff. So they try their absolute hardest to make the environment fun while you're watching it. And so I think that's why it is very enticing to go to those games. But no, I mean, it's always a good time. I mean, you never not have fun while you're going.
Yeah, and yeah, they tried their best to make it as fun as possible. But now on the flip side, so congratulations to them. And they've got some awesome players too. The amount of guys that are getting looks at the national team. Your boy, Charlie.
Yep.
He just got his first international cap for USA. Peyton Wall is crushing it. Noah Brown crushing it. There's a handful of other Hounds that are getting looks at the national team level, and they should, because
Chris Hasenbeck, he got that game-winning kick.
Yep.
He's on the Hounds.
Yep. And so some big-time positions from young guys too, from the Midwest. 2 of those guys I named went to the University of Indiana. Really cool stuff to see, and it's helping the national team, I think. But now on the flip side, the sad side, this year, before the season started, we had, 3 or 4 clubs fold. LA and San Diego had to combine to make the California Legion. And just announced yesterday, we're recording on Tuesday, the GM of the Hounds just announced that he's leaving. So... Ooh, and we're in the off-season mode, and I know you love going on Reddit and looking at things. I'm sure the message boards are going crazy. I feel like this time of year for MLR is always the worst because everybody's so negative. So here's my question. Do you think we have an MLR season next year?
Tentatively, yes, still, but I don't know, how many more seasons do we get exactly,
Like
That's
when
a fair question.
when's
Yeah.
the turning point?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I do feel like every owner that's been a part of this is probably operating at a loss. It's like, I wish Gimli was here. He
Well,
knows this.
but didn't-
Restaurants, it takes 5 years to finally turn a profit.
Wasn't there like? Didn't we look into this like a long time ago? But there's like a lot of like international clubs though that almost always take a loss like every year, but they just have such
Financial
backing,
insolvent.
yeah.
But
like,
they also, I think the overall numbers are like much higher. when it comes to like the Prem in England.
Well, and like those owners are like, yeah, this team is going to exist whether I make money or not. We're going to be here and win games.
Right.
Whereas like we don't have
I'm
that like passion
sure
yet.
some of the other owners or whatever, like some of these international clubs and stuff, have other endeavors that like fund it. You know, it's kind of like what was that? The guy who owns like the Mavericks, who has a pro soccer team or whatever.
Mark Cuban.
Like I don't know. It's like
Mark Cuban owns the
Yeah,
Mavericks.
that's
the gas stations.
oh,
Yes,
oh,
Jesus.
Maverick.
That's what I said. Sorry, the tooth. My bad.
The Maverick.
The Mavericks.
The Mavericks.
The Maverick.
Yeah, no,
Oh.
it's something like that because like he has like a pro soccer team, but it's like
Brother-
he funds it pretty much just because he loves soccer.
We don't talk about Maverick. They took our sweet come and go.
I know.
Oh,
The
is
kids
it-
in like 20 years are
is
going to
it
talk
the-
about how it was such a ridiculous name.
They people
It is
from out of
now.
state. People from out of state talk
Yeah.
about how ridiculous come and go is. Johnny Knoxville in one of the Jackass movies wore a come and go T-shirt because they thought it was so ridiculous. It said come and go. He wore it in a thing. Is it the Kraus or the?
Kraus was coming
Yeah.
down.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
but yeah, because Des Moines getting all in on soccer, building a pro stadium and all that. So
They've been
Yeah.
fucking building that thing for 10 years.
yeah, right.
Yeah,
They allegedly it's opening in 2029, but we'll see.
they're supposed to open this past year.
So 2031 Rugby World Cup, Des Moines.
Host
Oh.
site.
They
Hey!
play
B-Side Boys stream it. Nope.
They'll play at the Des Moines field.
We'll get a peacock deal.
All right, World Cup at the Des Moines Clubhouse. Do not park at the apartments.
They will tow.
But we always do.
You can't park here. No. Yeah, so I don't know. It's such a bummer. And again, as we started the episode, we're talking about like we want to build excitement for rugby. And I feel like if you pull in a non-rugby fan or you pull in anybody and it's like, hey, you should watch pro rugby. Like, is there pro rugby in the United States? Like, yeah, we have Major League Rugby. If we don't have a pro league, you can't be a tier 1 nation in a sport if you don't have a pro league, I feel like. I mean, I don't know.
Probably helps.
Argentina.
Really? Well, but they have Super Rugby Americas.
Yeah.
But that's like
The
one
little sister of all the other leagues,
Yeah,
frankly. Which
you're
would
right.
still be the big sister of the MLR, I guess. But no, that's fair.
Yeah. But okay, so let's say MLR folds. I guarantee the Charlotte team, the Anthem, probably will still exist and play in the Super Rugby Americas.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm.
Like I would guess that like everyone would be like, well, that didn't work, so we're gonna put all of our eggs into the Anthem, and then
The
they'll
team,
play
the team that USA Rugby backs, you're saying?
Yes, that would be my guess because that's what they did with the Raptors,
Right,
kind
yep.
of. But then Raptors and MLR at the same time was whatever. And I haven't heard from the Raptors in a minute.
Well, do you call?
Have you called?
I just wait for it to show up in my feed. The algorithm knows when I need to know, and they're like, nah, they're just shh. Hey, you know what Steve Harvey always said? When they sleep on you, tuck them in. So, what to watch? This is another new segment here.
Let me hijack you for a second.
Yeah.
Because I did want to. So we talked about this a little bit. I don't have the breakdown of the tier 2, but the Nations Championship just finished its first round.
And that's tier 1.
And I think both rounds. So there's tier 1, tier 2, and it's like the way that the tier 1 is set up is basically the northern hemisphere versus the southern hemisphere, which people are already complaining about because as you're done with the entire first round, the teams that have performed the best are New Zealand and South Africa, who are both in the southern hemisphere. So it's not going to be a true winner of the nation. It's going to be north versus south. Okay?
I've heard that story before.
Right.
Oh,
So anyway, through the first round, 3 games, France is leading the northern hemisphere. South Africa is leading the southern hemisphere. Although France went 2-1. New Zealand and South Africa both went 3-0, but South Africa has a bigger point differential.
So, real quick question, because I got very confused on this too for like USA. Mm-hmm. Is it you're in a pool with all the teams in your area, but you're playing all the teams from the other pool?
Yeah.
That's so confusing.
I know. So it's North versus South. So all the North is in. There's 6 North and 6 South.
So it's because that's the thing. Like USA is in the same thing as Canada, but they don't play Canada. They're playing against like Canada and USA both play against Zimbabwe and Paraguay and Spain. They play everyone from the other pool.
I hate to be like an elitist, but I only have really paid attention to the other than the USA the Tier 1. So there's 6 North, 6 South. So they've all played 3 games this first round. Then in November they'll play the other 3.
Yes. Yep.
So like New Zealand and South Africa, I think all the Southern Hemisphere teams played home games with a lot of controversy that I won't get into on like Ireland not having to go all the way to Japan.
There was also another one where one of the island nations, they said their stadium was too small to play.
Fiji. So they played in England. That's a whole other deal. They played a home game in Twickenham or it was wherever the fuck Liverpool plays. Who cares?
And the difference in attendance was like 1,500 people. And they said that theirs was too small, but the difference was 1,500 people. But that was something where people were like, oh, the island nations get screwed over.
So the South hosted the first 3, and then in November the North will host the next 3, and then there's some kind of playoff deal. But it's probably going to come down to, as like a big New Zealand fan and stuff, that New Zealand and South Africa are going to be number 1 and 2, but they're on the same side. Or they're on the same team, I guess. Because I don't even think they'll play each other.
Yeah, no.
Because it's North versus South.
So at the very end, did they just do like the number 1 from Pool A plays the number 1 versus Pool B? But they've already played each other. I don't get it.
That's what I don't get because it's North versus South. So if 2 Southern Hemisphere teams will likely be the number 1 and 2 out of the entire deal, I don't think they'll play each other. Anyway, but that happened. But the main reason I bring this up, and I'm not going to get into the fact any further other than New Zealand is fucking back. All these replays and all these games are live, and the replays are on Rugby Pass. Rugby Pass is fucking free, and I've said this forever. Just like Peacock's the cheapest streaming service you can get. That was the last World Cup. Rugby Pass app is free. Give them your email address. Give them a fake email address. As long as you have something to sign in and a password, you can watch them live free. And then they have replays free. The replays are posted way faster than Peacock's. You can go on and watch them all right now. But just watch them. Even if you don't watch them, just play them when you go to sleep, because this is so much fucking better than Peacock, which was pretty fucking sweet, by the way. But there's no ads. There's no anything. You can double tap for 10-second fast forward or hit the button for 30-second. I can watch a rugby game super fast if you go through all the bullshit. But if you like rugby and you like top-level rugby, watch it, because it should always be on Rugby Pass app because it's great.
Are we sponsored by Rugby Pass?
I don't care.
This is good too.
I'll pay $10.
Dude, I'm fired up.
Because the USA is on Paramount Plus, which I don't have, which is annoying to me.
Oh, I have Paramount Plus. You want my password?
Yes. But
Okay.
give it to I'll put it in the comments. And your social security number. So, yeah, I do. Because I pay attention to the USA, like the national team, obviously, but I can't have any more fucking streaming services.
Well, what I will say, I told you this before the thing, is that I think they also do the same thing on YouTube. Obviously, we want to support their app, but if you go to the Rugby Pass channel on YouTube, I literally watched the Argentina-Scotland game live on YouTube. So, I mean, obviously, so it's like, and they have the replays the very next day as well. So, obviously, just supporting.
So it's out there.
It's out there.
Just fucking watch
it.
Yeah.
I watched Ireland versus New Zealand, but that's all. I don't want to get into that bullshit. It was only because New Zealand played at home. Whatever.
Ooh, let's you know what? As I say, let's unpack this. Nichols, what's your take?
I frankly, New Zealand has a new coach, and they're playing like a super quick, expansive, fun kind of rugby that they've gotten away from. And I'm not even, this isn't hyperbole, it's just my honest thought. I think Ireland didn't play as well as they should have.
Yeah.
And I think I've heard a couple podcasts, like their U20 team just got 9th.
Wait, who?
Ireland. And like they're starting to age out, and they need to figure some shit out. And I'm saying that like with respect because I like Ireland.
Because their top players are playing football for South Carolina.
But it did just seem like Ireland didn't have as much as I expected them to. I thought they were kind of sloppy, frankly.
Yeah.
I will say, just to make kind of a joke, but a real comment, what if other countries feel the effect of college football in the United States, where we are taking their top level athletes away from rugby to play college football because NIL, you can get paid money, and it lowers the level of their play.
I could actually
That'd be great for the
legitimately that's a
USA.
thing.
Yeah.
Like,
I can see it.
They're chipping away again. If South Carolina's doing it, and again, that blows my mind. 9th place for Ireland. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
That's wow.
Yeah.
But it's also
But there's
everyone.
also- yeah.
Whenever you listen to like people talk about their own country on podcasts, everyone's super fucking pessimistic. Andy Farrell's one of the best coaches in the world. You have a couple guys that didn't play. You also let James Lowe go, which was super fucking stupid.
That was
in a
so.
contract
Yeah,
dispute.
well, what I was gonna say is that I think Andrew Farrell was just scared of New Zealand because he can't ever beat them. But but no, I mean the James Lowe situation. I saw my uncle that was in that came over here from Ireland for my wedding, and he was telling me the whole lore about it. But it was basically because they didn't want to pay him, and he was so injury prone that they didn't want to pay him.
Yeah, they shortchanged his contract.
Yeah. And so he was pissed about it. So he told him to F off, and we also got to think that too. It's like it's a business, so that front office was working as a business and not actually looking out for their players. They're just treating it as a business and need profit to make money, just like baseball teams. Like they cut these guys that out of will, and you're like, why would they cut their face of the franchise? Because it's a business. They don't care. They're trying to make profit. They're not trying to lose money on a guy that never plays. So it was primarily just because James Lowe has barely played recently because he's been so hurt, so they're not going to overpay him for that. And so they told him to kick rocks. So,
I always heard too,
which I hate. I'd hate. James Lowe's an amazing player, but
He's a huge fan of the pod.
Huge fan.
Well, I was gonna say, like the Patriots, right? People always talk about their dynasties. They always would get rid of people a year early instead of a year too late. And it's one of those things where like it is so tough when you love a player and they've done so much and you want to be loyal to them, but you have to look ahead to the future, and it's really hard for teams to like cut loose on that guy who's been the guy or a fan favorite or just someone who's done a lot, where it's like, we got to cut you now to build for the future, and it's hard to do. But
I feel like that's
why
the
writing. Sorry, not to interrupt, but the writing on a wall or the reading between the lines, the criticism would be that they lost James Lowe at a time where they're at like
their lowest.
They aren't at a premium for new people coming in, so it's like arguably the time where, hindsight's 20/20, but you might have. Because they've got that guy that played 14. Who's really exciting?
Robert Balakoon.
But he hardly ever got an opportunity to play. And then on the other team, you got some URC guy.
Then they have guys that are just constantly injury prone, like Calvin Nash. He's a great winger, never plays. They have that guy from Connick that I'm blanking on his name, but he never plays because they're just a very injury prone.
You'd know his name if he played.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. So, I agree with you. I think that's why you're seeing a lot of these guys start for Ireland that you don't know who it is. It's not your typical Andrew Porter. It's not your typical Tide Furlong. It's these other guys because I think they're trying to get these guys some caps just to give them some experience. So, no, it'll be interesting. I think they're still solid though. I think they still have a good foundation. But when you have a battle at 10 and then you're losing wingers because they're getting hurt, it just you can't have that solid cohesiveness all the time.
Well, it was
versus like All Blacks. You guys are just always cohesive all the time, no matter who you throw in there.
Somebody said this on a podcast I heard. It's like South Africa's number one, and then you got France and New Zealand, and then you have a pack of like 5 other teams. You've got Scotland, England, Ireland, and Ireland has just put themselves in that third category as where they were in the second.
But that's the thing,
So it's
though.
not a bad-
They
I mean, it's not
started.
like they're bad.
It's like they go in waves. Like you see them have a bad game. You're like, it's over. We're horrible. But then it's like they started the Six
Shut
Nations.
it down.
They started the Six Nations off as shit, but then they started to come back, and then they won every game. But then they fell short to France. So it's like they start to figure it out when it's too late.
Right.
So who knows?
Time will tell. We'll find out in November.
Yeah.
And I will say the Nations Championship and the Nations Cup, that was created by World Rugby.
Yes.
Right? Like that was a World Rugby thing. I'd say overall, like, I think it's a pretty good comp. Like, I think...
Well, I fucking love it.
Yeah, I think it's been cool to get, like... And again, like, maybe I would think differently if USA was 0-3 and, you know, New Zealand is doing really well and you're a big New Zealand fan. But, like, to see, like, these teams play for something where we've talked before where sometimes international friendly matches, it's just like, nah, we're going to throw some stuff out there. It doesn't affect anything. Like, it feels like it matters, right? Like, I mean...
Yeah, it's just some bragging rights.
Yeah. And they're prepping for the World Cup, too. I feel like this is kind of the on-ramp for the World Cup where maybe they are trying some different things. They're not showing their full hand. But it's like an appetizer for the 2027 World Cup in Australia.
Yeah, I think every nation and every team, like always, is going to take these things and their strategies will be different, whether they actually are or they're just using that to change the narrative on bad performances. But I do think that most countries have the World Cup in mind. I mean, New Zealand or South Africa played 3 games and they played like 47 different people. So they're just like
39 of them were Sharks.
They're just expanding their depth pool. Where like New Zealand has a brand new coach, so they played 30 people in 3 games because they're trying to find the right. So there's all these different storylines with every team, and I could go on and on and on. But
that's for the
that's what I mentioned with New Zealand. I just feel like you're right. You're seeing the same people every game. It's that cohesiveness. You want to make sure they all work well,
and you just hope that core can stay together and not get hurt. But at the risk of sidelining the whole podcast, get the Rugby Pass app because they also have all kinds of like documentaries and like go through that. There's cool shit to watch.
Yeah, and in the Darian Lovelace interview, there's a documentary of AIC against Brown Sevens. Go check that documentary out on the College Rugby Show's YouTube page. Super awesome. And like you said, so matches to watch for. A lot of Rugby Pass on here.
Yep.
August 3rd, Life Women are taking on the USA Falcons at 5 p.m. on USA Rugby's YouTube channel. That's a 15s match. This is like the first time, like, the USA Falcons, they're like a feeder team to the USA Eagles. So to have a college program taking on the Falcons, it's like the first time they've done this. It's going to be a huge deal. So USA Rugby YouTube page. Friday, August 7th, Nichols, Rugby Pass TV, Stormers versus the All Blacks.
So yeah, so the All Black, not to just always talk about New Zealand.
I mean, I turned it to you on purpose.
They're doing a tour to New Zealand, which is like a pretty cool deal. So the All Blacks will play they'll have a whole bunch of guys, like 50 guys going, but they'll play a bunch of the pro teams in South Africa, and then it'll culminate. They'll play South Africa 3 times, and then they'll play South Africa one more time in Baltimore.
Oh,
yeah.
So,
is this kind of like almost like the Lions tour, like in a way, like almost like a mini Lions tour? You know how like they all get together and then they play. Then they play like low-level Australia teams, and then they finally play Australia.
It's similar to the Lions.
Yeah, but they don't combine countries. Yeah. It's just the All Blacks.
Yeah,
but it's kind of that's what reminds me of that.
It's like a pretty big deal in New Zealand and South Africa. It's a touring squad, so New Zealand will be in South Africa for like 2 months, and they'll like live there, and so they'll have the midweek games, as they call them. Well, they'll play the Stormers and all the URC pro teams, and they'll figure out their lineup, and it'll culminate with 3 big matches against South Africa.
Yeah, so on August 7th, they play the Stormers. On August 11th, that's a Tuesday, they play the Sharks. I'll probably take the Sharks by 3.5. And then they play the Bulls on the 15th. And then on the 22nd, they'll play the actual Springboks. So the Sharks plus like 3 other guys. So, yeah, that's all on Rugby Pass. So if you want to see the All Blacks tour in South Africa, that's on Rugby Pass. August 8th and 9th, USA Club 7s National Championship. That's going to be on the Next Level Rugby YouTube page. That's 7s. It's up in Cottage Grove, Wisconsin. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be a great event. That's the USA Club 7s National Championship. That's premier level people. There's going to be people that you've seen play for Team USA in their 7s program, or guys and girls trying to get onto that are playing at that. Yeah, I might be doing some commentary for that, so check it out, Phil. Hey,
spoiler alert.
Shut up. Then on August 8th at 8 p.m. Central Time on the Women's Sports Network is going to be the WER, Women's Elite Rugby Professional Championship. You can get that on like Pluto TV, Roku TV, basically like all the like free apps
yeah.
you get on your like smart TV. They have the women's sports network. Check that out because again, TC Gemini, they've been crushing it. A lot of chicks from the UNI Panthers, a lot of Midwest women on there. So check it out, support them. Some international matches to keep an eye on. Japan versus the Wallabies. That's going to be on Rugby Pass on August 8th. Argentina against South Africa, 2 p.m. on Rugby Pass. Fiji women against South African women at 3:15 a.m. on Rugby Pass. Then on the 15th, the USA Eagles play against Argentina 15s. That's on Paramount Plus. That's a friendly. That doesn't count as an international cap. It's not a part of the Nations Cup. But I think that'll be an interesting one. Argentina, that's a tough team for USA. But I think that'll be a good physical challenge before they go in the second half of the Nations Cup.
Yep.
So, that's really all I have for, big ones locally. The Club Sevens, the Women's Elite Rugby, get Rugby Pass, and then, high school girls rugby is going to be starting at the end of August, early September. We'll be streaming that on the B-Side Bois Rugby Podcast YouTube page. And, I don't know, men's rugby's starting soon.
Yeah, be at practice tomorrow.
You guys ready?
Huh?
Are you ready?
Always.
If I don't have
I was fucking born ready.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Settle down.
I was going to say, if I don't have a baby, I'll be there tomorrow.
No excuses.
Oh my God. Mr. One
It's
Baby.
literally right down the street.
Oh. Yeah, that's why we do it. That was intentional.
I know.
Yeah.
I bought this house so I didn't have to go far for practice. Any other things to watch?
I say we should do like a little B-Side Boys watch party for the Sharks All Blacks.
I'd be down for that.
That could be a fun. Put a little bet down. I'm sure.
On a Tuesday night?
Yeah.
Or what time would that be at, you think? On August 11th?
It's going to be in South Africa, so I don't know.
That'd be late.
Late
Or
early.
early. All
Take
right,
the day off of work.
So
Fuck
we
it.
got the TV here. Here's what we could do. We could do like a you guys are gonna hate this. Hear me out.
Oh yeah, I don't even want to hear it.
I'll listen.
What if we sit on this side of the bar, we watch the game, and then the camera's here and we live stream us watching it
No.
while getting hammered?
Well, okay, you lost me and then you had me again. So.
But you can't
date
say
is
any Tuesday,
August 15th?
11th.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
Yeah, but you can't say any slurs.
I'm out of it. And I'm done.
That's the thing. I was like, I have the YOLO box. We could go live, and I'm like, I don't think we're ready to go live yet.
No.
Not that you say slurs. That was a joke. Just kidding. No one makes it this far in an episode, anyways. So with that being said, if you want to get involved, you can become a referee if you head out to Mason City. That is going to be on August 16th from 9:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. A level 100 referee course. Again, that's in Mason City. Head to the River City Rugby Football Club page to sign up, or you can go to USA Rugby, Rugby Explorer. We need referees.
birthday.
We always need referees. Go be a
fun.
referee.
It's
Yep,
super
be a
fun. Do
referee.
it.
And like I said earlier, pretty much no coaches get paid. You know who gets paid?
Referees.
Referees get
Damn
paid.
right I
It's
do.
also my dad's birthday, so you could celebrate my dad while you're out there.
Oh.
Yeah. He wants you to go.
For his birthday.
Perfect.
In lieu of cards.
And then also on Saturday, August 8th, I know there's a lot of rugby on Rugby Pass, but most of that's at like 3 a.m. Des Moines Rugby is hosting a level 1 coach course. So if you want to coach high school rugby, which I think everyone should coach high school rugby, except for me. I'm busy. But everyone else should coach. Go get registered. Rugby Explorer, that's going to be at the Des Moines Clubhouse. Again, August 8th, go to the Des Moines Rugby page, USA Rugby, Rugby Explorer. Go sign up, become a coach. Phil, I forced you to be a coach. Did it change your life?
Yeah. No, it's been cool.
Has it changed it for the better?
Yes. I think so. Yeah.
Dude, that's a glowing endorsement.
No, it's good. No, it's fun.
Go Tigers.
Go Tigers.
Go Tigers. Yeah, and that's pretty much all I have with that. So here we are, the final whistle, end of the show. I was thinking, we're not going to be doing episodes every single week because, again, you just got married. You have one child. You have two child.
And I just don't care that much.
There's not enough international rugby to meet weekly. I'm soon to have 3 child, and I have a big hole in my ceiling over here, but we won't show that on the stream.
Nichols will fix that.
I thought you...
I was told you were fixing it.
Oh, all right.
I was told you're both spending the night until that gets fixed. Anyways, I was thinking about different people we could have on the podcast, right? Who else should we interview coming up here in the fall? Sage, the president of the Iowa Rugby Union.
Yeah.
I feel really bad. I haven't reached out yet to her. When Bryant was president, we had him on, I think, 72 times.
Yeah, I've had him on a lot.
And then we've had Anna on. So want to get Sage on, talk about Iowa Rugby Union, what's happening. Yeah, that's kind of the big one. I want to get the head coach of Nebraska. I also met him. Actually, I've known him for a while, but we met in person for the first time at the MLR game as well. So I'd love to have him on to talk about Nebraska rugby, and you like Nebraska stuff.
Sure do.
Yeah.
So
Matt Rule, is that what we're talking about?
no, different coach. We're in the same ballpark.
I'll still show up.
Wear your Nebraska hat. That'll be good.
My undies.
So I was just thinking, I know last in December we're like, hey, who's on your wish list? And I know we had Alona Mar, Sammy
ridiculous.
Sullivan,
Yeah, ridiculous.
Carrot Top. But there are 2 people, actually 3. Someone tuned over there?
No.
Yeah.
Normally that's me, but okay. There's 2, maybe 3. We've always been trying to get Paul Emmerich, and I think that's one. We'll get him.
Yeah, eventually.
We'll get him.
Maybe.
We've never had Tim Oppen on, have we?
No.
We should get him on.
We should get him.
He's got a lot of really cool experiences and stuff, and he's a good coach.
Yeah, and those are a couple of Eagles that have been on. Are there any other Eagles that we could...
We can get Nady Berge.
Yeah.
Oh, your friend Nady Berge?
I was gonna research because I prepared for the show. My last Facebook message to him, and it's been so long that it's not there anymore.
Oh, you're blocked too.
He gave me one of these, I think.
The woogity woogity.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
do that when I'm
Rocket
annoyed
Pack.
with somebody.
That's even...
Yeah, but no one messages you because they want anything.
That's fair.
Oh, so Phil actually hasn't used that yet.
Not
I
yet.
think he said thanks, man.
Yeah. Well, he's coaching a college program up in Minnesota now.
Saint Joseph's Bonaventure,
St.
John,
John's. Yeah.
Jonathan.
We could find out. Yeah.
Oh.
And what I think is funny
When
is
we get
that
internet, we'll look it up.
time is a flat circle because I feel like the story is repeating itself.
True detective. All right, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Because Sam, you also met a Eagle and maybe sent a message like, "Hey man, you wanna come on?" He's like, and he actually responded to you.
Yeah.
And then you said something else, and then left you on red.
Left me on red. I mean, I'm granted I might have been really drunk on my honeymoon, just give him a heartfelt message, be like, bro, congrats on your first cap. So he might have felt weirded out, so he left me on red.
What's this guy message? Did you tell him you're on your honeymoon?
No, I didn't say that. No, but no, he messaged me, but he was like, bro, I'll check out the pod, just leave me alone. But he said he would tune in, so that's the first step. So, but we gotta
We need to get people in before they listen.
So
I think he wanted to check it out, but to make sure we were valid.
I got one. I'll message my personal friend on Facebook, Perry Baker.
So here's what's funny is I wanted to set this up because
Facebook friends, look it up.
I feel like you guys are in a similar boat, so I think it'd be fun to see who can we get on first, Charlie or Nady, and whoever gets them on first is the winner.
Okay.
And the podcast ends, and then we're done. It's over forever.
Fuck yeah. Phil's not getting a lot of work.
God damn it.
Phil's gonna be.
So I'm gonna get. So if I get Perry Baker, then we're gonna call it quits after
No, it's
that.
between these two.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Did you get drunk and message Perry Baker?
No, I haven't yet. But
You
I
could tonight. And then I will say, speaking of people who listen and then come on, so before the interview with Darian came up. We were talking before, and she's like, yeah, I was listening to get a feel of the vibes. Like, oh, yeah, like what you guys are doing. Yeah, so I listened to the episode where you guys were talking about broccoli farts.
They're real. They're real.
Yeah, dude.
And in my head, I'm just like, we had that intentional conversation like, oh, we'll start the pod of like, hey, how you doing? We're easing into it. Just ease into the rugby, and we're talking about life, and we got so deep into broccoli and farts and all that stuff. And I'm like, of all the episodes she picked,
Let's say
Well, it's tough, too, because broccoli makes you fart.
right.
But if you microwave it, it smells like a fart.
Sure.
Yeah, it sure does.
So she didn't listen to like any of the first 20 episodes that we had. Some of those were a little off the rails.
Oh, man. Have you gone back and like listened to any of those?
The first couple of years,
not
I think, were
recently.
rough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, also, too, there was a couple. Like the Tyler Daly episode, that one was wild.
Dude, that's another person we should get back on sometime.
Yeah.
In person.
In
In
person,
person.
yeah.
Well, that'll
In
be
person.
another 6-hour one. Like, yeah,
I was so just...
You should
I
have
was
spent the
hammered. I
night.
should have spent the night.
That's right. Cut it. All right. Any other final thoughts? That was
I got a final thought. When you interviewed the guy from Arkansas,
Yeah, Lance.
did he call himself, are they Arcanians? All I kept thinking
Okay.
is Texarkana.
So
What is that? Is that a thing?
there is
Yes.
a TikTok or it was a Vine. There was a foreign exchange. Yeah, this is way back to the ancient
12 years ago.
Yeah, so
Okay.
before Sam was born, the ancient scrolls of Vine. There was a foreign exchange student from Asia, and she was so confused because she was looking at a map, and she goes, "Why?" And I'm not going to do the accent. Why is this state called Kansas, but this state is called Arkansas? Because it's. She goes, "Why isn't it Kansas?
Yeah.
Arkansas, Kansas, Arkansas." Why? So when he said that, I also was like, whoa. I wanted to dive into linguistics, and I'm like, no. we're here to-
Texarkana. That's all I want to say all the time. I don't even know. Is that a place?
I don't know.
When could I ever say it?
Yeah, so, all right, Lance, we're going to get you back on the horn, because that also blew my mind, but I'm like, we have to power through.
Call him right now. What time is it in Texarkana?
And then he said they recruit people from Dallas, and that's Texas. I don't know.
Is that Texarkana?
I think
technically.
They touch each other, right? Texas and Arkansas touch?
So are we
Yeah.
right our area?
And then
You're the Mississippi.
Mississippi. All right.
Wait, but no, that goes on
Because you're
Louisiana.
wet.
Not currently. Well, sweat, yes.
Not currently. Get off my stool!
Fucking hot in here, dude. Get some AC.
Ripping ass on that stool.
Okay, Mr. HVAC. Well,
Do plumbing.
Then do his fucking shower.
You also do plumbing.
I do HVAC. I quit.
Oh my god. HVAC's stupid anyways. Jesus. Get me out of here.
all right, well, this was a great first video episode and a great last video.
You cut
right,
it up in post. We'll take care of it in post.
Yeah, we'll cut it.
It was kind of
edit
the
it.
plan all
Cut that,
along
cut
to
that.
kind of axe the video, you know.
Phil, you haven't been
Completely.
here.
How do you know the plan?
Well, I assume that's what we were doing.
All right, well, how you feeling?
Good, you?
Good, you?
Good, you.
Good, you.
Good, you. Good, you. Good, you. Fresh air, fresh air, fresh air.
What a fucking...
So, like I said, we were close to an hour.
Yeah.
This episode's-
Don't you gotta plug in all the interviews too?
Yeah, so it'll be about a 3-hour episode.
That's all right.
Call me Joe Rogan.
Yeah, if Joe Rogan can do it. We can fucking
If
do
you're
it.
Joe Rogan, who am I?
RFK Jr.
Fair enough.
Nickname